Hi guys, welcome to the Untitled Wrestling podcast. I am Jay, and I have had too much pasta, and I am joined. The gang's back together. I'm joined by my branches, Big Tasty and Faye.
Yo, I've just eeten a lot of
Chelsea
pork, to be fair,
so
and I had a great time.
much. I hated that. Like, that was visceral. Like,
I mean, Ben looked upset about it, and he's already experienced it once since we
I had to listen to that in work the other day. By the way, like,
I mean, no one forced you to.
it gave me psychic. No, I have to, don't I? Like,
You're an adult. You made a choice to listen to me and Ben talk about All In. So, you know.
Yeah, but I wanted to listen to you talk about All In. I didn't sign up.
Well,
for the J-Rico.
You should have known there was a possibility that I could have done something to give you psychic damage, even though you weren't there, because that's how these things work.
Yeah, it is.
We're not here to talk about All In today, though, because we have spoke about that already. Go listen to that if you haven't already. I'll leave a link for it after this podcast. We are here to talk about, though, a lot of other stuff that's happened since All In, which is wild. It feels like wrestling never sleeps.
All In was like 2 weeks ago, wasn't it? It feels like 3 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago. It feels like about 6 months ago.
Yeah.
I feel like the landscape of AEW has changed so much over one night that like everything feels different now.
Well, we'll get into that in a moment, but shall we talk about Rev Pro first? Because me and Ben were there, and we'd like to tell you about
I want to hear all about it.
Because it was a very good show. So we won't go into too much detail unless we feel like it warrants it. So first off, we had nice little 8-man to start us off. Joshua James, Shaw Samuels, and Youngblood, which is Oscar Lerb and Yuto Nakashima, who are two young lions, defeated David Francesco, Golden Boy Santos, and Greedy Souls. Sad tasty noises. It was a fun match.
I mean, it was 50-50. On the one hand, you had Greedy Souls. On the other hand, you had Shaw Samuels. So I was having a good time regardless. It was fun.
Yeah, that's true. No kinky, no party, as they say. That was
East.
Fun. East. And then we had Ethan Allen defeating Connor Mills, which was a really good opener, really strong banger of match.
Yeah,
I missed Ethan Allen.
Connor Mills just continues to impress me. He's so fucking good.
He's fantastic, isn't he?
I feel like he's gonna have a massive 2025.
Yeah,
because he feels like he's on the cusp of like something big.
Spoiler for later in the show. I feel like the young guns.
Young Guns.
I feel like they're handily placed in Brit Rest currently to have a, like you said, have a real big breakout. Because I think the first time I saw them, they jobbed to Kings of the North in about 5 minutes at a TNT show.
That's insanity. Next up, we had Ricky Knight Jr. Defeated Zazaya, another guy who I think is going to have a fucking huge 2025 is Zazaya.
I don't think I've heard of him. Is he good?
He's excellent. He's a Spanish wrestler, and he's popped up in Red Pro like a couple of months ago, and he's been on pretty much every show they've booked since.
He is the flippiest boy. It's a good time.
He's
so allergic to gravity. We love that.
Yeah, apparently, he made a bit of an impression with a lot of people in AEW over All In weekend. So,
nice
possibility we might see more of him. Ricky Knight Jr. come out. Speaking of AEW, Ricky Knight Jr. did come out with Saraya and Zack Knight, unfortunately. He also had spooky demon paint on, and everyone was chanting shit Finn Balor at him, which was funny.
So to give a bit of context, at the last show, him and Zazaya had a match again.
Him and Zazaya had the match on the previous show, and I think
Zazaya clocked him in the head accidentally and concussed him, and they had to stop the match. And so his whole thing was like, "You hurt me, so now I'm going to hurt you." And I got hit in the head, so now I'm all spooky. And here's my problematic sister.
Yeah.
That sounds delightful.
I lost a lot of my voice during the show from booing Saraya. It made.
And she was only out for like 90 seconds, so that was quite impressive.
She wasn't out for a long time, but I was like,
Scott Oberman levels of booing.
Oh no, it made that look like just a mild like, boo.
Oh, okay.
Jay was going off like he was in Goodison.
I was. Next up, we had the scramble match for the Red Pro Undisputed British Cruiserweight Championship. It was 5 guys and mystery.
Not those 5 guys.
Not those 5 guys. So Will Caven defeated Neon, who was the champion, Cameron Kai, El Phantasmo, Leon Slater, and Dante Martin, who was the surprise entrant. And we only got about maybe 2 minutes of Leon Slater and Dante Martin, and I need it like I need fucking air.
You said it hit like crack. Is the words that I think you used?
That was times.
Yeah, they did like this cool spot where they both kind of like stopped dead and just turned around and looked at each other, having cleared the ring, and it was just like everyone was like, "Oh my god, this is going to be insane!" And then they got like a cool little bit, and it ended quite quickly.
Put it this way: when ELP is the least flippy guy in the match, you're having a good time.
Yeah, Neon was very good as well. He was awesome. I'm from CMLL. I'd like to see more of him. Potentially a Forbidden Door. Next up, we had Big Tomohiro Ishii defeating JJ Gale. This was a full match. Pretty much just a standard Ishii match, wasn't it?
Yeah. So do you know, I noticed it's kind of funny when I only noticed it went on this match for some reason. So Ishii's like, when wrestlers come out, they play like a little video, don't they, of like them doing cool shit. Normally it's like someone like jumping off the top rope and hitting a move. Ishii's is just him getting hit and no selling. That's his entire entrance video.
Yeah. Look how good I am at getting punched.
And then there's like a brief moment where he like murders someone with a lariat or a suplex, and then it's like back to like him no selling, getting forearmed.
Yeah, it's incredible.
That was a fun match. Just standard Ishii affair. And then this is where we're kind of getting into like the really cool stuff now. So we had a no DQ 5-versus-5 women's tag match. But it was basically anarchy in the arena. The Cutthroat Collective, which is the like heel faction of Alex Windsor, Lizzie Evo, Mercedes Blaze, Nina Samuels, and Sapphire Reed, defeating Debbie Keitel, Kanji, Nightshade, Rio, and Giselle Shaw was revealed to be Team Rev Pro's mystery partner as well. This was absolutely fantastic. Possibly match of the night for me.
I remember being particularly, I mean, they were all excellent, but I remember in particular being impressed with Sapphire Reed. I thought she had a really good showing.
Yeah. There was that really cool spot as well where Giselle Shaw basically like did the Spanish fly onto everybody.
Yeah.
Onto the outside, which was mental.
Also, fun fact, this match was produced by Will Ospreay, who was sat at the commentary desk watching it.
Love that.
Yeah. Also, Zack Sabre Jr. was a huge fan of this match. He said that Nightshade has the best spear he's ever seen. Because Nightshade did an absolute murder on, I think it was Alex Windsor with a spear. Also, big up to Nightshade. She was like pouring blood early on. Like, she literally, I can't remember what happened. Didn't she get hit with a bin or something?
I think so, yeah. There was a lot of weapons and a lot of... and at one point there were thumbtacks. There were thumbtacks on tables. There were tables. Oh, it was, lovely stuff.
Yeah, I just remember she went down and she was down for like a minute or two. It was like, fucking hell, is she all right? And then she stood up and like half her face and hair was just like blood red. It was like, God. She's bleeding a lot. But it was a very, very fun match. If you go and seek out any match on this card, I'd say it would be this or another one, which we'll get to in a moment. But this is definitely one. If I had to pick one match to tell people to watch, it will probably be this or the other one that we're going to get to. Next up, we had just a big, meaty, hard-hitting hoss fight. Were you all right for this one, Tasty?
This was,
You have to get smelling salts.
That's right. I went and got a drink beforehand, so I was my blood sugar was fine. We were all good.
It was Gabe Kidd and Dijak, and it was literally just they beat the piss out of each other.
Within like 30 seconds of the bell ringing, they were like outside throwing each other into the barricades. Give you an idea of how quickly this match went. It was they went fucking around. Yeah,
there was a bit where didn't Dijak like choke slam him onto like the actual guardrail as well?
I think so, yeah.
Just horrifying. Gabe picked up the win, but they just absolutely knocked lumps out of one another. It was fantastic. Next up for the Red Pro Undisputed British Tag Team Championships, we had the reigning champions, the grizzled young veterans, defending against podcast favorite, the Sunshine Machine.
Yeah.
This was awesome. There's some fantastic storytelling in this. So the story in Red Pro was that if Sunshine Machine couldn't earn this title shot, they were going to break up. And they obviously they earned it. They won the match. They got the chance. Halfway through the match, there was a bit. I
would say halfway. It was
it started about halfway through where there was a bit of miscommunication. You could see TK was getting pissed off at Chuck, and then Chuck accidentally super kicked TK later on in the match, and then like GYV had Chuck and TK was stood there, and he just went, "Oh, fuck this," and just walked off, and everyone was like, "No!" And then as GYV was setting up to hit like their finisher, the knees from like the either corner, TK like ran in, pulled Gibson out, and they both just murdered James Drake and won the tag titles. And my favorite part of that was Sarah turning around and going, "Haha, Sunshine Machine are breaking up," as like TK walked out the ring, and then 2 minutes later the music had hit and they had the belts.
Love that.
Yeah, the greatest team. It's TK Mambo, Sunshine Machine.
It is. Yeah, they're the best boys.
It was very fun.
No beach balls, huh?
No, sadly, no beach balls.
Because people keep stealing them.
Yeah, true.
I think as well it was because obviously it was like quite like a high stakes serious match. They were very They seemed to be taking it very seriously.
So all in all, a mixed weekend for Chuck Mambo because he was also the cameraman that Will Ospreay killed in All In.
He was, but I also had the Pro Wrestling Ceasefire, which was a massive success, which was nice.
I have tickets for next year's one. I'm so excited.
Sick. That's awesome.
I was debating doing the show they're doing in November, but don't know if I'm about for it. Like about every other fucking show that's been announced in November. And next up, we had the Red Pro Undisputed British Women's Championship. Dani Luna defending against Mina Shirakawa. And Mina won.
Yeah, she did.
Yep. Mina's a fucking whistle. I was like, oh wow.
And then we brought the title to AEW when she turned up on AEW the next week. Yeah, which was great.
Rampage, which is cool.
What a queen.
I'm sure this is probably going to lead to Mina versus Mariah at some point, which will make me sad.
Mina's great. And Mina was so good. Like she was watching her live. She's unbelievable.
She had the crowd in the palm of her hand. Like everyone was like giddy for me, especially because like at this point they just had like 3 like really like intense matches, and then it was just like Mina come out there like, yeah, hey Mina.
So thank you, Stephanie Vaquer, for signing with WWE because that's very good that match.
Yeah, because we wouldn't have got that otherwise. But it's interesting because it makes you think would Stephanie Vaquer have won the belt off Dani Luna if that was the case?
Well, that would have been weird, wouldn't it?
Well, if the signing had gone differently, yeah, of course. Next up, the other match I'd probably tell people to watch if they're watching just one match off this card. One of the best matches I've ever seen live, just for like technical wrestling wise. Zack Sabre Jr. defeating Hechicero, which it was literally just about 25 minutes of just reversals.
Yeah. It's one of them matches where at the end, like both wrestlers got a standing ovation. They cheered for Zack, and then like Zack stepped on side, and we cheered for Hechicero for like 5 minutes straight. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was Zack won by just technical.
It was horrifying.
He technical magic. He just put him in increasingly horrible submissions until he just didn't have any limbs left to like move, and then he tapped out.
So he did a reversal. But like the way he kind of like transitioned from it was he got like a head scissors on and like made it look like he was going to snap Hechicero's neck, and then just started pulling his legs towards his neck, and then like he had like an arm free and he started pulling his arm towards it as well. It was just like the actual talk of the initial reversal was horrifying because we watched it. It was like, yeah, that's it. He ain't doing anything to get out of that.
I can't wait to watch this like on demand so I can hear the commentary for this match.
It was a really fun match because it started off like quite respectful, like they were sort of trading hold for hold. Then it got a little bit sort of fucky, and they started putting it in a little bit more, and then they sort of got through that and got towards like a mutual respect towards the end, which was like they told a really nice story throughout like how the match went.
Hechicero was kind of leaning into being a heel, wasn't he? Because he wasn't going to. he knew he wasn't getting cheered against Zack Sabre Jr. For pretty much the majority of the match, there was a "fuck the Tories" chant.
Which Zack was loving.
Yeah, and then Zack Sabre Jr. did the big speech about how he's like he couldn't bring the G1 trophy in his case because it was too big, so he's just going to have to bring the IWGP World Heavyweight title back instead. And everyone went like feral for Zack Sabre Jr. And yeah, that'll be nice. And then the main event, which again was absolutely fantastic, for the Red Pro Undisputed British Heavyweight Championship. Michael Oku defended against Luke Jacobs, and Luke Jacobs, like it. If you weren't convinced that Luke Jacobs is going to be a star, this match will convince you, because he went from basically, because he come out like to Bon Jovi, didn't he? What, Dead or Alive?
Yeah, Dead or
Alive. Dressed as Stan Hansen because he's cool as fuck, and he lariats people to death. And then they started, because obviously there was the rumors about like Oku going to AEW. They started like teasing a double turn where like Oku was like basically keeping holds in too long, and they did like a bit of an injury bit where Luke got bust open hard way, and then Oku was just like being vicious, bit more vicious, and Luke was like struggling to actually get to his feet, and then it eventually just hit like this filthy lariat, then a burning hammer, and Oku kicked out, and then didn't he do it?
When we say a burning hammer, I don't mean like the safe one they do in WWE.
Oh no,
I mean like
it was Masawa's burning hammer.
Okay.
It was a fucking horrifying one, and then he did another lariat and a Fire Thunder driver to put Oku away, and it got a standing ovation. It was a cool moment. Oku's been champion for like 18 months, so it was a massive like change in the guard. And then after the match,
he got out of Ospreay, didn't he? When Ospreay did his last match,
he did, yeah. And then after the match, Tomohiro Ishii come out and challenge Luke Jacobs to.
Oh, I need that.
Yeah. Well, it'll be the third time they wrestled each other. It's the rubber match.
Before we move on, can we just like put some respect on the summer that Ishii's had? Like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like he basically said, "I'm not doing the G1 this year. I'm just going to go to like America and Europe and just have bangers with everybody."
Wide friend summer instead of hot girl summer.
Yeah.
Well, do you know what's funny about that?
Yeah.
The funny thing about that is because Tanahashi thought Ishii's body couldn't handle the G1, so Ishii just went and like just had bangers everywhere instead.
Just booked like 20 like rough as fuck matches.
Yeah.
Yeah, that match he had the Hangman was amazing the other week.
I'll make my own G1.
Yeah, it's like what Suzuki did though as well. He did his whole G1, didn't he? Which was nice. But yeah, what did you get that shot of 10, Tasty?
Oh, I mean,
I'd
give it a
9.
I'd give it a 9. I'll take 1 point off because the facilities were shit.
Yeah. That's literally why it doesn't get a 10. It's not because of the quality of the show. The show was excellent. It was the fact that
it took me 20 minutes to go for a piss and get a drink.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And well, what's even worse about that is like the toilets and like the bar were literally like where we were sat. We're like at the top of the steps.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even like we had to go far to get to that.
Thankfully, I could see the ring from when I was queuing for a drink, so I didn't miss anything. But fuck me, it took forever. It wasn't that expensive, but the prices were alright. I must admit, for like a wrestling show in London, it was like I think it was like $3.80 for like it was less than a $5 for 2 like soft drinks, which was at a wrestling show.
That's really good.
Kind of alright. Yeah.
I got 3 pints and I think it was like 20 quid. So
yeah, again, that's not bad.
It's fine, isn't it? But for a wrestling show in a sports venue.
They can't all be like pro wrestling ceasefire.
Well,
can't all be Wrestle Island where you get a fucking can of Coke and a sausage roll for $2.50.
Did you know they sold out? I think they sold out a beer at the bar at Pro Wrestling Ceasefire, and it's like you were selling 2 beers for £6. What do you expect?
That's cheaper than all of the pubs in the area.
I mean, to be fair, it was all like donated, wasn't it?
Yeah, all the bar and stuff, but all the money also went to Palestine, which is fucking ace.
Yeah. Big shout out to everything that Chuck Mambo did over that week because he's He's a real one.
I didn't even realize it was Chuck, you know. But while we were watching it all in, me and Nat and people were like, "Oh my God, his socks and underwear are so bright and lovely."
That should have given away to
it
you.
Really should have, and I felt so stupid when he was like, "Oh, the cameraman was handsome," and I was like, "Of course it's Chuck. Of course it is."
It's actually illegal for Chuck Mambo to wear all black. That's why he had to wear the coloured socks and pants.
It was what was even worse is that it was like sunshine machine coloured.
Yeah.
Socks as well. It was the blue and orange.
Bless him. Right, should we get into All Out, because we've got a lot to discuss here.
Let's break it down.
So I'm gonna just breeze through the pre-show because nothing really of consequence happened, but it was fun. So we had the Acclaimed there defeating the Iron Savages. Yeah, that was a fun match.
I enjoyed that.
That was the one that featured the Costco guys, which I know nothing about.
I don't know what they are. It did also feature MXM Collection watching on the screen and doing various poses as they were watching, which was very fun.
Like voguing.
Yeah. So I do appreciate one of the Costco guys is called Big Justice, and that's a name I can get behind.
And another's called the Rizzler.
The Rizzler,
not the rolling papers, like Turkey.
No, that means something different than in the UK, doesn't it? It's it doesn't really work over it.
Yeah, I just want to make a little shout out as well to MXM Collection from, I think it was Collision before this, when they had that little bit with the Acclaimed, and Billy grabbed their tips when they were touching tips.
Yeah, that was fun.
Did you like the little TNA Easter egg that Mason did after?
What he called him?
He went, "That wasn't very cute, Kit."
Cute Kit. He called him Cute Kit, which was great.
Their feud with the beautiful people is amazing. I hope it leads to some kind of interaction. We had
get Madison Rain out for it.
Madison Rain, there, she could have got involved. I feel like they need to do something with Madison Rain and MXM.
Shout out to Madison Rain doing the pre-show as well. That was cool. I enjoyed that.
He did it for All In as well.
Yeah, but I couldn't really hear
that. Is that who that was?
I was sat like a fucking trillion miles away with.
Yeah, so
we had it on our phones on YouTube while we were watching it.
So I think she dyed her hair or something because she looked completely different. It was only when they said Madison Rain, was oh, okay. Something's definitely changed about her. I couldn't put my finger on, but I think it might be that she's changed her hair color. Yeah. Next up, we had Hologram, Dustin Rhodes, and Sammy Guevara defeating the Premier Athletes. Again, just to make Hologram look cool, innit?
Yeah.
The Bang Bang Gang defeating the Dark Order. This was fun.
I enjoyed that, but where's Jay White? I'm at this point now where I'm like...
Well, they said he was still injured, so I'm guessing he might have complications. And then we had Sky Blue come out and basically just give an injury update about a broken ankle. Mariah come out and pushed her over. And then Queen Aminata come out and to make the save.
That felt so strange, and I was hoping for a Julia.
Nah, I mean, Aminata and Sky Blue are really good mates in real life, so it made sense.
Oh, yeah. No, I just meant in general, just give me
It sets up nicely because Aminata, I believe, was one of Mariah's first opponents. Might have been a first opponent even. So I think that's what they're doing. Where obviously the Aminata's going to be Mariah's first,
how good that Mariah and Julia Hart feud's going to be though?
Oh.
The spooky
Barbenheimer the feud.
Yeah.
We had that on a Rampage, mate. It was House of Black versus MXM Collection. Friday night fashion fight.
Fashion fright.
Well, I mean that match in itself might be my match of the year. It's definitely in the argument. It was tremendous.
But yeah, just have spooky Mariah at some point, or yeah, I'm here for that.
I mean, we've got Murder Mariah at the moment, which I think is amazing. And the final match we had was a triple threat trios match where the Undisputed Kingdom defeated Action Andretti and Top Flight and Shane Taylor Promotions with their newest member, the Beast Mortis.
Love that.
We all stand the Beast Mortis.
And Lee Moriarty can speak Beast.
And Lee Moriarty can speak Beast. And yeah, then this led to the actual main pay-per-view, starting off with Daniel Garcia and MJF, which, oh boy, this match was fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was basically Garcia attacks MJF during his entrance, and he keeps going for the pile driver. For the first couple of minutes, Garcia just beating the shit out of MJF. MJF then eventually targets the neck, and that kind of like gives him a bit of an advantage. Garcia keeps having an answer for everything that MJF's going for, and both men keep going for like top rope pile drivers. Eventually, MJF manages to pick up a quick roll up, and after a low blow, and picks up the win. Which I thought was maybe the wrong decision.
So apparently, the reason that they did this was Garcia hasn't yet resigned, and they obviously didn't want MJF's going away. They filmed what happened afterwards. He's going away to do a movie, so he's going to be written off. But they didn't want to give Garcia the win because they didn't want him going over a top guy when he wasn't going to necessarily 100% resign with the company. So I can understand why they did it.
I mean, the thing which was kind of like a reoccurring theme throughout the show was like a lot of the young guys looked really strong in defeat.
And they did tell a story through this match about the whole match was about Garcia. Like he could have won a couple of times, but he wanted to inflict more punishment on MJF.
Yeah,
and it was his anger got the better of him a couple of times, and he eventually paid the price, which I think is a good story to tell.
Yeah, he wanted MJF to pay for like the tombstone off the middle row. After the match, Garcia hits MJF with an avalanche pile driver.
So interestingly, after the match, MJF goes to shake Garcia's hand, but Garcia blocks his dick kick and then kicks him in the dick.
Yeah,
that was great, and he properly hit him as well.
Yeah.
And then he basically did the whole thing that they did like the week before on Dynamite, where Garcia had MJF's head in his hands and kissed him on the head, and just like laughed like a maniac. But yeah,
I going around.
there was a lot of murder on the show. Yeah, I think it was a really good match. For me personally, I would like to see Garcia win, but with what you're saying, Ben, that does make sense as well. And I think Garcia still come out of this looking like $1 million, to be fair. Next up, we had the AEW World Tag Team Championships, the Young Bucks defending against the BCC. How did you handle this one, Faye?
I didn't. I didn't.
Yeah, so
they're my boys. They're all my boys. I don't want to. Everything makes me sad.
Yeah,
this pay-per-view was fucking angry, wasn't it? Like this whole pay-per-view was just like really like bad intentioned in like the best possible way.
This pay-per-view was just emotional damage. The pay-per-view.
I basically not went to bed before all the end of it. We'll get to it. Let's carry on. I don't want to talk about it. Sorry.
So, for the most part of this match, it was the Bucks kind of like isolating Utah, and Utah kind of fighting out of all of the sort of like fuckery that the Bucks were doing. Again, like as I said about the Garcia match with MJF, this made Utah look like $1 million. Eventually, Claudio and Utah go for the fastball special. Matt gets his knees up, and Nick basically grabs Claudio's ankles, and Matt rolls Utah up and picks up the win. My only issue with this finish was we'd literally just had more or less the same finish in the previous match. But I think it protected Utah, and it made them look like Utah came out of this match feeling like a big deal, I feel.
And I suppose they didn't really want to get a clean pin over the Trios champions because it was kind of like a...
Yeah, that's the other thing. Especially given what happens later on the show. We need to...
The Trios champions are fine, guys. Don't worry about it.
BCC are fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, my only real criticism of this match was like no one thought the Bucks were going to lose, did they?
No.
But it was a fun match just to have. It was
it was a last minute addition. I
popped when they announced it on Dynamite when Claudio called it out. I was like, all right, that's going to be fucking cool, and it was. So
Yeah.
At time of recording, on Dynamite tonight, there is going to be a Casino Gauntlet tag team match to face the Young Bucks at Grand Slam. I think that'll be one worth keeping an eye on, given something we'll talk about later. But yeah, let's get to the next match. So Next up, we had possibly match of the night, maybe match of the year.
I'd say match of the night, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. The AEW International Championship, Will Ospreay versus Pac, and I saw things I never thought physics would allow to happen.
Yeah, it was really good.
I heard you like flippy shit.
Yeah. Heard you hate gravity.
This was insane. It was absolutely insane. Like there was moves that Pac was reversing out of into Hurricane Ranas. It was just like, how the fuck are you doing that?
He was so quick this time.
Able to do that. Yeah, I think the thing with Pac is like that people always forget how good he is until he's against someone that he can really showcase how good he is against.
Yeah.
Because not to like say that he isn't good enough that he can't like showcase it against people, but you tend to see when he has an opponent that's bigger than him, or an opponent that can't like kind of do half the mad shit that he can do. Not that he slows it down, but he does. He kind of like adapts more to their
style.
Changes
up his style, doesn't he?
Yeah. So to put it in perspective, me and Sarah went to OTT last year, and one of the matches we watched was earlier this year. One of the matches was Pac versus Damo.
Yeah.
And it was a really fun match, but it was a totally different. It was like a lot more brawling, like outside, inside. A lot more like sort of using the steps, using the ring posts, using bits and bobs. There wasn't any. Obviously, he can't do the shit he does with Will Ospreay with Damo, but yeah, it just like you say when he finds that opponent who like is on not saying necessarily his level, but like clicks with his style. Like Kenny, I think Kenny does it. I think obviously Ospreay does it. Like you say,
Orange does it.
Orange does it. He just goes to like top tier, doesn't he? Like he's just fucking ridiculous.
But even like his match with Okada earlier in the year, which I thought was incredible, that would have probably topped the match of the year list any other fucking year.
Also, never forget the greatest forgotten match in AEW history: Pac, Orange, and Kenny 3-way.
Yeah. That was my first pay-per-view. Really,
that was a good one coming on.
Yeah.
Even then, like when Pac's against someone who's as good as Okada, he still changed the style up. He wasn't doing this kind of stuff. I think off the back of this, we're getting Ospreay and Ricochet, but I think we'll probably get Pac and Ricochet on the way there as well. So we can just remind everyone who the fuck he is. But yeah, there was some absolute insane spots in this match.
When are we getting Pac and Swerve as well? I'd like that.
I'm surprised we haven't already got that, to be fair. Yeah, there was a lot of really grotty poison rameners. Pac kept reversing the hidden blade, and he kicked out of it a couple of times as well. There was an insane spot where Ospreay went for the Stormbreaker, and as he like went for the twist, Pac reversed it into a Hurricane Rana. Eventually, Ospreay hits a Styles Clash, and then Hidden Blade to the back of Pac's neck to pick up the win. This was just insane. It was one of the best matches of the year, I think.
Speaking on, you said before about wanting to see Pac versus Swerve. Do you think the world title's passed Pac by now? Do you think he's going to get a shot, or do you think?
I think he'll eventually have a run with it. I feel like AEW, specifically Tony Khan, loves Pac.
But he's 38 now.
Yeah.
If you think you've got an idea of who the next 3 champions might be,
they could squeeze a little Pac mini run in there.
Sure.
I hope he does. I really do. But I just have this horrible feeling that he's just going to be like a victim of, because there's been a lot of times over lockdown when he couldn't travel, and he's had like visa issues. I feel like his like sort of willingness, wanting to stay in the UK on a more full time. I mean, I know Will Ospreay does that as well, but maybe they can share a flight. I don't know. But yeah,
too much Greg's on Pac's plane. Will can't fit.
I've just got this horrible feeling that he's just been one of those people who just sort of like not falls through the cracks, because he's always going to be a top guy, but I just don't think he's ever going to quite get his due.
Yeah, I mean, I think they'll, if not that, he'll definitely at very, very least have another run with the International Championship.
Yeah.
Or the Continental Crown, or the TNT title. I do think we haven't seen the last of Pac holding a singles title in AEW for sure.
I mean, it goes without saying, put that man in the fucking C2 this year.
Yeah.
Yes.
And put him in the G1 next year.
I'm going to be saying that a lot about people tonight, probably, but we'll start with Park.
I need Pac having bangers with everybody and doing murder.
The
Which
C2 this year could be like weapons grade good. It could be like one of the best tournaments of all time.
Yeah, I feel like they could make it bigger as well.
What if
like I don't know.
What if Kenny's back for it?
Don't.
Don't give me hope.
Oh,
But yeah, Osprey eventually defeats Pac. Amazing, incredible match. Go and watch it. Now, under normal circumstances, this would have been a fucking incredibly hard act to follow.
I mean, I still think it was. I just think Stat and Willow just knocked it out of the fucking park.
Yeah, they did.
That's what I was about to get to. So they followed it up with probably the perfect match on the card to follow up with, I think, which was Stat and Willow in a Chicago street fight. Because the thing that keeps the crowd hot in this is that obviously they're not seeing another match that's similar to Pac and Osprey. They're seeing literally
nonsense.
It's a
total palate cleanser, isn't it? It's like you've just had like intense, like really, you've got to really pay attention to it, like really advanced, like sort of athletic wrestling. Here it goes two women, and they're going to hit each other with all of the shit. And it's fine. Like off we fucking go. Let's fucking have it.
Yeah. I love that Stokely Hathaway came out dressed as New Jack.
Yeah.
It's fucking brilliant. Yeah, so there was a lot of grotty spots in this match. Stat basically like just spine busted Willow through the Spanish announce table. She then got pounced through the barricade at one point. She went for a swanton on Willow, and Willow moved, but Stat still caught her in the back of the head with the feet, which was scary.
Yeah.
They ended up fighting on the ramp, and as like Stat's about to hit Willow with something, Willow just pulled light tubes out of fucking nowhere and like
oh my god!
It was a barbed bat, wasn't it? Stat.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Where's it the light tubes was like when Final Fantasy when like they pull out a giant weapon out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So I feel like this was the first like instance of like AEW sort of setting the tone of like where they're going, because a lot of criticism can be levied toward that a lot of the time in recent like months and even last year or so, they felt less like an alternative and more like we're just gonna do this but better. And this felt for the first time like, okay, well that's fucking something that you wouldn't see anywhere else other than, well, you know what I mean, anywhere else on like that level. And yeah, I popped like a motherfucker when like Willow busted out light tubes.
Also
so respect to Staff for doing a fucking split drop onto the thumbtacks.
Yeah.
That was I didn't like that.
That was horrible.
Yeah, she missed a scissor kick and landed on thumbtacks.
No, thank you.
Yeah, eventually.
I know she's like a trained gymnast, but they don't teach you how to do that in gymnastics school, do they?
No. No, they do not. Eventually, Statlander got the chain that she's been like punching Willow with, and hit a tombstone onto the tacks, and then basically locked the chain around like Willow's like throat and got her in a camel clutch.
It was upsetting.
Yeah, Willow tapped out and Stat wins. I feel like this might not be the end of this feud.
No, because it's got to be for the belt, hasn't it? No.
Yeah. Just after this as well, we got a little bit backstage where Osprey was basically being a bit of a dickhead to Ricochet, and then Ricochet just come over on the bounce and said shit, and Chuck Taylor was crying somewhere in the back.
Yeah.
Basically, Osprey said to Ricochet, basically pick up some wins and I'll give you a shot at the title.
Yeah.
So he was like, right, I'm going to do what everyone does around here and beat up Sammy Guevara.
As is tradition.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
Yeah. I mean, it's getting the ball rolling. I imagine we're probably getting Osprey and Ricochet at Grand Slam. They've been kind of heavily teasing that on Twitter today. Osprey put something up saying he really wants to wrestle at Grand Slam, and then Ricochet was like, yeah, so do I. I'll see you soon.
Oh,
Yeah.
So I think we'll probably get that, maybe even get that announced tonight. It's in 2 weeks away. Weirdly, it's like the go home show before Wrestle Dream, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, we'll see. Next up, we got a Fatal 4-Way for the Continental Championship. Okada defending against Mark Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, and Takeshita. And again, this was fantastic.
I really enjoyed this.
Just four of the best lads having a big old fucking scrap in it.
I love the fact that like we had Takeshita and Okada just knocking bells out of people. Mark Briscoe getting bust open the hard way and like just bleeding everywhere.
Just literally every it seemed like every 5 minutes he was just flinging himself out the ring on top of people as well, which was great.
But then every now and again, him and Orange would be in the ring together, and there'd just be antics. It'd just be tomfoolery.
Until that bit at the end when they just started going at it with each other, they go like, right, let's just fucking sort this.
Yeah, well, it was cool because like they were like they were double teaming Okada and Takeshita, and then they kind of like had a little stare down, high five, tugged it out, and then just started like brawling with one another.
Love that.
Also, every time Okada and Takeshita were in the ring by themselves, my blood pressure went up a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like we might be getting that as a singles match.
If you're Tony Khan and you're not watching that going, that's what we need to book, then you need to hand the book over to someone else, mate.
I mean, he goes on about booking dream matches all the fucking time, and that's like a Japan like dream match. It's like the ace of DDT and the ace of New Japan.
Yeah.
Just like right fucking there, and you've got them both on your roster.
Basically, don't put Takeshita in the G1, in the C2, sorry. Just, while that's running, just have Okada and Takeshita have like a best of 7 for the belt.
Yes.
So, what was interesting about this as well, which makes me think we're going to be going back to Okada and Takeshita, was the finish was Takeshita basically blocked like an Orange punch with like a murder forearm and then hit Raging Fire on Orange. And then as he was going for the pin, Okada coming in just took Takeshita out the ring and then hit a pair of surprise Rainmakers, one on Mark Briscoe and one on Orange. And then Okada won. So it was like Orange.
I mean, that's interesting as well, isn't it?
Yeah, well,
Orange don't take a lot of pins.
So basically, he Rainmakered Mark Briscoe. Orange tried to like sneak in for the pin, and then Okada basically picked Orange up in the ripcord, and then as he pulled him up, like murdered him with a Rainmaker. And then picked up the win. But yeah, as you say, Orange doesn't eat many pins. Obviously, Okada's a mega name, so it makes sense for him to pin Orange.
Chaos is fine.
Chaos is absolutely not fine. I feel like we might get a Okada Orange Cassidy singles feud at some point though in the next year.
Orange is getting but Orange has gotten sucked into the Jerichoverse, so don't worry about
that. Don't worry about it. The Jericho Megaverse is fine. But also like Okada has been fucking with Orange now like for the last like 3 weeks.
Yeah, he has.
Like he's been an absolute piece of shit to Orange. So that's got something's got to give there. But we'll see it. It's very interesting with what's going on with Okada because there's a lot, like, especially coming out of this match. There's still like a lot of irons in the fire of where they can go with it, and there's still like obviously like he's got unfinished business with the Hangman as well. So yeah, and Claudio. So who knows?
Yeah.
Next up we had for the TBS Championship, Mercedes Moné versus Hikaru Shida. This was fine. It kind of fell apart about halfway through the match, I'd say.
You know what though, right? I feel like since Mercedes has got back, since Mercedes, she hasn't found like her dream opponent yet.
Yeah, we all thought it'd be a bit Baker, but that was very much not the case.
Well, I thought, to be fair, I think the matches she's been having in New Japan are better than the ones that she's had in AEW so far.
I was going to say, you say that, but then look at the Stephanie Vaquer match. That was amazing.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
That was incredible. The Willow match was incredible.
Yeah, I think I just expected more of Shida and Mercedes, to be honest.
I mean, I thought this when they had the first match that they didn't really have a great deal of chemistry together. like these two. And it was weird because they started off really hot and it was really exciting, and then it just kind of like
fizzled out.
It just I don't know if they needed to like shorten the match, or if I don't know what happened, but either way,
I mean, this went 16 and a half minutes. It was longer than the 4-way. It was longer than the women. It was longer than Stat and Willow. It was longer than the tag match.
Yeah,
so
I think with the pace that they kind of started at, it would have been okay if this had have gone like 12, 13 minutes.
It's a weird, isn't it? Because like, while I don't think, like you say, Faye, I don't think Mercedes has found her Hangman Swerve level.
Yeah,
this is the fucking shit like angle in AEW yet, but at the same time, she's had such a profound effect on the rest of the women's division.
Oh yeah.
And her value has almost been not in the ring. It's been what she's brought to the company just by her presence.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah,
which is a weird thing to say, because you think, oh, Mercedes is going to fucking go. Let's have it. But while she's had, I don't think she's had any bad matches. Even the Britt Baker match I thought was fine. But they say.
As I say,
I thought this is going to be like. I mean, it's not going to be a 5-star women's match because Dave hates women's wrestling. But I think we all thought, oh, she's going to have wall-to-wall bangers. But I mean, if you just has good to great pay-per-view matches and is responsible for the women getting more TV time, then I suppose she's doing her job.
Absolutely.
I think for me, the big one that I want to see at some point is either Mercedes and Hayter or Mercedes and Toni Storm. And they're the two.
I think at this point we've got to pin all of our hopes on Jamie Hayter's going to save everything.
Yeah. Or I mean, to be honest as well, the other person who I think will have a really good match with Mercedes when it comes around is Statlander.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I just think she said it about the Brit match. I just think sometimes maybe they try and do a little bit too much, almost like they're trying to prove something. Which it's fine. I mean, wrestling's all about taking risks and trying to put on really good matches. But I just think sometimes
the simplicity of things is just as effective.
But it must be hard to look at Will Ospreay versus Pac, or anything Okada does, or Orange Cassidy does, or Ricochet's just come in and think well, right, we need to do that level of shit. But I don't really think you do. I mean, they can just put Willow back in with Mercedes and see if that works again, because that was fucking fire.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, as I say, the match started off really good. It was a really fast paced match.
Yeah.
And then there was that weird bit with the kendo stick where it kind of just it just took all the wind out the sails while they were fucking around with that. It's you didn't need to do that. I get Mercedes is trying to be a heel and heel it up, but she still didn't need to do it.
Yeah.
It's almost like it hurt the match. It derailed it a little bit, but again, it was still a fine match. I just think these two don't have the best chemistry, but maybe that could even be something that they pick up over time. With when Mercedes was in WWE, there were people that she didn't have great chemistry with at first, and then after a few matches, you could see that they were getting better and better each time they wrestled.
Yeah,
it could be something that just comes with time. She's only been in the company since March. It's not like she's
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I don't think it's time for anyone to stop panicking and going, "Oh, Mercedes is a bust." She's not. As I said, she's already improved the product significantly just by being there. Yeah. So
and she hasn't had bad matches. She's
not at all. I mean, if you believe the internet, she's fucking boxed it all over the place and embarrassed herself.
Fucking washed, mate.
Yeah, but hey,
and she's had a couple of middling matches, but she's also had 2 really good matches. So,
and the thing is as well, we say bad, but even what we class as not a great AEW match is still a really fucking good match.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You grade on a curve, don't you? So a 3-star AEW match is still fucking banger, because it's just not. Because when you've got Pac Ospreay on the same card, it's all right.
Yeah. Speaking of bangers, next up we had Bryan Danielson making his first AEW title defense against scapegoat Jack Perry.
This was so good.
Please, can all the people who complained about Jack Perry being Danielson's first opponent shut the fuck up? Because
so people were still complaining about
put some respect on his fucking name. Because remember when he had bangers with MJF? Remember when he was the fucking standout in the 4 Pillars match? Yeah,
remember
fucking
his
Jack
match
Perry
with Kenny?
Yeah, Jack Perry can fucking go.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had the really cool entrance where there was like police like chasing the scapegoat van into Chicago, which was cool. Yeah, I feel like
I
this
love his
match
sick jacket as well, which you can now pre-order. The scapegoat
Yeah.
Busco.
It's so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like this was kind of like unfairly dunked on. I thought it was a really good match. I really enjoyed
Oh,
it.
it was so good.
I just need Jack Perry to sell the Psycho knee forever because no one sells it better than him. That is,
yeah. That Psycho knee he sold like he'd been hit by a fucking bus.
So I was like flagging at this point, and I fell asleep halfway through this match. But Pete said that I woke up to see the Psycho knee, went ooh, and then immediately fell back asleep.
incredible. I mean, that was the best bit of the match, to be fair. So you nailed it there. It was.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically, Jack Perry was trying to out Brian Danielson. Brian Danielson, like he went for the cattle mutilation. He was doing the yes chance. And he
almost tried to get him up in a fireman's carry, and I was like, "Is he gonna fucking do it? Is he gonna?"
He hit like a lot of cool like looking suplexes as well, and then basically Danielson just after the Young Bucks tried to like get involved, and Claudio used to chase them off, and Danielson they actually hit Danielson with the Tony Khan driver as well, which was wild. Perry basically hits Danielson with his version of the Psycho knee, which he calls the glass jaw.
Yeah.
Danielson kicks out, and then again, Perry's going for the Danielson kicks. Goes for another Danielson knee, but does the yes chance. Danielson hits him with the Psycho knee.
Just murdered him at that point, didn't he? Like,
yeah, basically, it was the whole thing where Perry slapped Danielson, and Danielson started laughing and going, "Do it again," and then just no selling, and then he just started like wailing on him and hit another Psycho knee, kicked his fucking head in, and then hits a third Psycho knee to pick up the win. And then nothing happened at all after this match.
Everything is fine.
Show closed, and everyone went to bed.
And we all got frosty chocolate milkshakes. It was great.
Yeah, so
I'd woken up like to see those Psycho knees and like the end of the match.
Mm-hmm.
And Nat had already gone to bed, and me and Pete were watching it. And what happened next woke me up so violently that I stayed awake for the entire cage match. It was like it was like being dunked in ice water.
So I went through several like stages of like panic after this. So first of all, Christian's music hits, and I'm like, oh fuck, I love Christian, but I'm not ready for it now. Like, don't.
The little
like,
Luchasaurus bit was so good.
Yeah, and the little recognition between Perry and Killswitch was real nice. They were sort of like, oh yeah, we're both horrible now, aren't we?
Yeah,
look how far we've come.
Well, it was like Killswitch attacked Danielson, and then like they stared down, and Jack Perry was like, "What are you doing here?" And then Christian's music hit, and he went, "Oh, for fuck's sake!"
Yeah.
And then as like Christian, Mother Wayne, and Nick Wayne are about to get in the ring, Mox just has appeared from nowhere.
So when Mox came up by himself, I was like, "Oh fuck! Oh no! Mox is fucking wrong, and no, this is bad. It's just Moxley." And then the rest of the BCC came on like, "Oh, it's fine. Claudio and Uther are here, and Pac. They'll make sure everything's okay."
Yeah,
and then nothing happens.
As soon as Pac was with them, I was like, "Oh no, I don't like this. This is bad. This is bad." Yeah. So the BCC chase off the patriarchy. Mox and Danielson hug in the ring, and Mox gives him a kiss on his head, and Wheelie Utah's looking very
confused. Kiss goodbye. It was
Wheelie Utah looks very confused by this because Moxley doesn't show anyone affection except for Renee and Nora. And then Danielson turns around into one of the stiffest uppercuts I've ever seen Claudio Castagnoli hit.
And the shock is so real that he doesn't even sell it.
Danielson doesn't sell it. He just sat on his ass like, what? And then before he can react, Mox then puts a plastic bag over Danielson.
You can see the plastic bag behind him though, like, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah. I bet it wasn't even recycled plastic. And Marina Shafir comes in and like kicks Danielson and kicks off all like security coming in, and Pac's just holding Utah back, who's screaming and crying.
That was the most upsetting visual of the entire night.
Well,
was just
did you see? Did you
Utah's
see? Right,
world
that
breaking in front of him.
when like Pac like hugs Yuta after they do the big like everyone throws around, he like nods to Claudio, like he's like, I've got him, go ahead. And like he went Claudio, it had to be Claudio because Danielson never would have expected it. Because Claudio's like the guy.
Remember that fucking Ring of Honor show we reviewed a couple of months ago where Claudio betrayed Danielson in that match?
No. I get that, but I mean, like now, like in this timeline.
But Danielson brought Claudio into AEW when he was injured to wrestle Zach.
What I want is Eddie Kingston's live reaction to this, to all of this.
That's the thing. I feel like a lot of the crux of this is Danielson showing Eddie Kingston respect.
Oh.
Like, that's kind of like been the catalyst of it, I think. Also, one thing that we didn't really speak about before All In, because we kind of just glossed over it when we were like doing our predictions. But when BCC and Pac earned their way into that match, Pac was grinning at Claudio like a lunatic, and Claudio looked really uncomfortable. And Yuta was like, "Oh yeah, we can trust this guy."
See, I think a lot of it is to do with because Danielson said like this is his last run, and like he's like in Mox's eyes, he's got one foot out the door. He's not all in. He's not committed. He's not fully focused.
He's not BCC.
Yeah.
He's talking about going home to his family. He's talking about putting it all away, and like that's not what Mox is all about.
If you watch Regal's goodbye video, like it's like the whole thing again. It's the people are saying like, so like basically, it's like what Regal did with MJF. He's like, I had to. People would see it as like, this is Brian making them let go. They'd never let me leave, so I had to make them. No, the way Regal like went with MJF.
Yeah,
it's that whole thing, but also
amazing.
Regal's like, I've shown you what you need to do. That's what he said. He's like, John understands.
Yeah, John. He said, like, always keep eyes in the back of your
head.
That's what he said. Always, like basically said, like always act first. Basically.
Awesome. That's
Go back and watch it.
I will do after we've recorded this. But yeah. So the BCC did a betray on Danielson, and
that was the most horrific thing that happened in the night. Nothing else happened.
And JR was like shook up on commentary as well. Like
I was shook.
Why would you
like
do a plastic
horrified.
bag? Yeah, and then the show ended, and nothing else happened except for an unsanctioned cage match, because
I'm sure it was fine.
Yeah, it was totally fine.
Because what do you do when one man breaks into another man's house? So that man responds by burning that man's house down to the ground. You try and murder one another.
Oh my god.
So a couple of things before this match even started. One thing I really liked about this was earlier in the day they showed like both the guys arriving at the arena, and they were both just dressed completely in black.
Yeah.
It was like they're dressed for fucking funerals here. This is like this is serious. Like the AEW did. Both these guys, everyone involved, did such an amazing job of making this feel enormous.
Yeah.
Like
it was like let's look at it this way. Since the Texas Death Match, we've been wondering, where does this go from here? They had that singles match which ended in a draw where Hangman was like, haha, you don't get a world title shot, and then they both got a world title shot. And since Hangman
don't forget the triple threat match where Hangman willingly got himself choked up by Joseph Swerve, couldn't win.
Yeah. But since Hangman's come back, it's been like, all right, when are they going to actually have this match? Because it's coming. They had the brawling blood and guts. They had, obviously, Hangman got involved in the match and All In. It's like, when is Swerve and Hangman going to fight?
Firework Factory.
I loved the promo they did on Dynamite before this, when like Swerve was like, when you get in that cage, what kind of man are you going to be? More importantly, what kind of man are you going to show your kids?
Yeah. And then like the Dynamite before, there was meant to be a contract signing match for this, and on the day Swerve had like revealed on Twitter that he bought his childhood home, which Why would you do that? Why would you
So
do
this
that?
for me, right? I sent it to Jay and I was like, how sweet is this? Because I just thought it was really nice. And Jay was like, no. And I was like, what? And it just shattered everything
I
and
literally
sent
said,
me insane for the week, basically.
I literally said to Faye, he's either going to be waiting in the house for Swerve and they're going to show it on Dynamite, or he's going to burn that fucking thing to the ground. And then he
I
did.
didn't even consider it. I just lived in this like lovely little bubble of Swerve having a nice time.
Like legitimately
That, like,
the best ending to a Dynamite ever of just Hangman sitting on a couch drinking a glass of whiskey whilst Swerve's house legitimately burns behind him.
oh,
So yeah, let's just talk about that angle because it's probably the only chance we're going to get to talk about it. So basically, Swerve's in the ring waiting for the contract signing. Hangman's music hits, doesn't come out. Hits again, doesn't come out. And it goes to the big screen, and Hangman's like,
got the brightest smile on his face.
Yeah, basically like, oh, you made a mistake, Swerve. You show me you care about something. And
you're a hard man to find.
Yeah, basically broke into Swerve's newly bought childhood home, said it was a shithole, and you can it at halfway through you hear something pouring, and it's like, oh my god, he's not, and Swerve even goes, oh no,
yeah,
oh, no.
And Swerve just starts like goes mad. He starts throwing like the table around the ring and stuff, and he's like proper freaking out.
Hangman like halfway through is already like, these don't know what I'm doing. Yeah. But you already know what I'm gonna do.
And you can see him like you can see him like sloshing like petrol around what turns out to be petrol around.
Yeah,
the house.
Well, the bit as he like leaves the house and he tilts the camera down, you see he's holding a gas can, and it's like, oh no, and then he's just pouring it.
Well, this whole thing, isn't it? Like, I'm gonna that he's like, I'm gonna destroy your childhood. Like, I'm gonna take away your childhood memories. I'm gonna take away like your happy times of being a kid.
For months, Hangman's been saying, I'm gonna burn your world to ashes for months, and then he did. He burned Swerve's house down, and I'm sure that will play a part into this match. In fact, it does, because Swerve comes out with gear with Hangman sat outside of Swerve's burning house, drinking whiskey on it.
He's acting so normal about it, isn't he? Like, it's fine.
Yeah,
and then Hangman comes out with literally just the footage of Swerve's house burning as his video package.
Yeah,
a fucking cop. So yeah, literally as the match is starting and doing like the introductions, the cage is lowering. Swerve just charges Hangman, kicks him in the head. They're brawling around the outside. There was an awesome shot of the cage lowering and Swerve holding Hangman's head underneath it, and Hangman looking up frantically like, "Let me out! Let me out!" And then Nana gets involved because they're both like Hangman drags Swerve under. So they're both
at one point they're both so desperate to like get the other one trapped under the cage that they don't care that they're also there.
Yeah. And Nana has to basically like push them both into the ring, to start the match. Then it's pretty much for a long ass time just Swerve beating the shit out of Hangman. Hangman manages to get the upper hand, and I think he gets out of the JML driver, doesn't he? And like Germans Swerve and just brains him.
So one thing I really liked.
Can we talk about how good Nana was during this entire match?
Yeah,
what were you going to say, Tasty?
So the genius thing I really liked at the start of this match is like within the first 5 minutes, they go to the staple gun and they're stapling each other in the chest and the back, which is really good because it sets the tone. You know, oh look, we're doing blood, we're doing staples, which is a throwback to the death match, but also it basically for the rest of the match, then they've both got like just little trickles of blood like all over them, like front and back, and it just really sets the visuals up for the rest of the match. Well, like these guys are already bleeding. It's really effective. Was it Swerve staples a picture of his burning house to Hangman's face?
No, it's not.
And then rips it off.
It's his family because he literally says, "I bought that house to hand down to them," and then he staples the picture to Hangman's face multiple times.
Yeah,
and then rips it off.
Like, yeah, Hangman's just screaming as he's got this picture stuck to
obviously that's a throwback to the death match when Hangman stapled his kid's drawing to Swerve. So it's a nice little.
Nat was having an okay time with this, by the way, because she woke up the next day and I was like, right, nothing bad happened. Let's watch some wrestling.
Don't worry about it.
We were watching the Danielson match, just to go back really quick. And she was like, something's going to happen at the end. She was like, it's not John, is it? I was like, no, it's not. It's not.
Technically, it's not. No.
Oh, she cried. She sobbed in the morning. It was sad times.
So yeah, then Hangman introduces barbed wire, wraps it around. He come out with it wrapped around his arm. I don't know if you saw.
Yeah.
And then he eventually like wraps it around his arm again and lariats Swerve off the top rope with it, which was grotty.
So there was a bit, wasn't there, where he was trying it. He couldn't do a buckshot because the ring was like the cage was like tight on the ring ropes, and he couldn't get behind them. So he was trying to do that thing he did in the Lance Archer match, in the death match, where he tried to get the ref to like kneel down so he could do the buckshot over the ref.
Which then Swerve did to Hangman.
Well, Swerve used it to like jump up and do a fucking hellacious house call.
Yeah. He did the buckshots as well, though, didn't he?
Swerve did do the buckshot from that as well. After the
house call.
So then Swerve gets a cinder block out, and
it's a shoot cinder block.
It's a real one.
And then he hits a cop killer on Hangman onto the cinder block because it's the best way to kill a cop.
Because fuck that guy's back apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they shown like the footage of it, and the crowd went, "Oh!" Where it's like this big graze down Hangman's back from like where he landed. Then shortly after that, Swerve hits a swerve stomp through a table onto Hangman, and finally,
Hangman landed bad there as well.
Like they were eating shit on pretty much everything they were doing.
There was a bit where Swerve like throws Hanger into the cage, and he just sort of like slides down it like quite slowly, and
it's like you got all those staples in your back as well.
Yeah, that also looked hellacious.
There was a really, really cool spot where Swerve goes for a house call and Hangman reversed it into a dead eye. And then Hangman he pins Swerve and Swerve kicks out, and he goes into the bag and he's got like a stake made out of like Swerve's burnt house, and he's trying to stab Swerve with it.
This is it.
Swerve is a vampire. It's got to be. It's the only logical thing at this point. And he tries to stab Swerve with the spike. Swerve gets him in an armbar, takes it off him, and then just starts like
murdering his face,
stabbing him while he's crying because he realizes what it is.
Yeah, he's sobbing, and it's so emotional.
And then Hangman low blows him and hits the worst thing in the match so far, which was that power bomb onto the cinder block.
The awesome bomb.
Oh yeah.
That wasn't even the awesome bomb.
No,
that was just
an awesome bomb, was it?
Shoot power bomb. It was terrifyingly upsetting. Swerve then hit a power bomb against the cage and hit another house call against the cage. He goes up top.
Yeah.
And then as he's going to go up again, because he's for the swerve stomp off the cage, Hangman gets up, and that's when he hits an awesome bomb off the top rope. Which I want Hangman to start using the awesome bomb, please. Because, Hangman then, after the awesome bomb, hits a dead eye, and Swerve just about kicks out, and then Hangman starts screaming at Swerve, asking him to beg for mercy, and Swerve just starts laughing.
So he's already got 2 wins over him.
Yeah, and then Hangman starts hitting Swerve with the blunt end, edge of the chair. And Swerve basically collapses at that point. Hangman then says he's gonna punish him. He takes Swerve's grill out of his mouth, which was really quite symbolic, because it's stripping Swerve an identifying feature away from Swerve. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then he pulls out a hypodermic needle and stabs Swerve in the mouth with it.
From inside to out.
Yeah. And then brains him with a fucking steel chair to the point where the chair snaps open and basically makes a fucking necklace out of it for Swerve. Obviously it's a gimmick chair before everyone's
oh yeah, it's fine. It's the middle just fucking caves,
Yeah. Although if you all sign that petition to make wrestling more violent, it won't be next time. So, do your part.
Thanks, Render Bomb. And yeah, then the referee stops the match because Swerve's been KO'd.
And to be fair, Swerve sells it like he's fucking dead. He just does not.
Yeah. one of the most violent matches I've ever seen, and this comes from someone who watches a lot of deathmatch wrestling. But I think the difference is with deathmatch
The
wrestling,
emotion in it.
yeah. So with deathmatch wrestling, you can kind of desensitize yourself from all of it because it's silly madness, but it's just like it's
I think here they really built to the big spots excellently. Like
yeah.
they built the hate through the match, didn't they? Like and they did this, and like so my favorite bit of not even the match, like after the match. So Hangman wins, he rolls out the ring, the cage comes up, they come in to check on Swerve, like all the doctors and stuff, and Hangman walks up to the top of the ramp. And then this is like a beautiful bit of like organic like crowd reaction, and it played so well. So then Hangman like it's almost like he stops and he wants to go back to like make sure
Yeah,
Swerve's
because
all
he
right.
looks like he looks like his lips quivering.
Yeah,
Like he looks.
he's like, oh shit, I should probably go and see if this guy's okay. And he starts walking back down the ramp, and like a couple of women in the crowd just scream because they're like the audience are like, oh shit, he's going back to hurt him more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Hangman realizes like what he's done,
Well,
and like
yeah,
the position he's in.
he has like a crisis of confidence on his face, and you can see like
he
a
realizes all
moment
of a
of doubt.
sudden he sees how everyone else is seeing him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, what the fuck? Oh god, these people think I'm gonna hurt him. Oh god. And then he just the show ends because Hangman, first of all, he puts his hands up in the air, he celebrates, and then he ends by just like screaming.
Yeah.
And you don't know if that's like victory or whether he's like just lost in
Gone
the fucking
insane.
darkness.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's like
Swerve
and his
said
eyes,
that though,
are
didn't
just
he?
like fair play. So one thing that's made this feud like so good has been Hangman's facial expressions throughout the whole thing. He sells like the depravity just with his facial features like expertly.
Yeah, and some of his promo work in this part of the feud has been phenomenal. Like the whole like he broke into my home and you chose him one. When he's talking about like he'll betray anyone to like get to him, and like then he hits Bruno with the chair. There's been so many
throughout this whole like journey and his descent into like madness and darkness. He's always had it justified because like you say, because Swerve broke into his house and Swerve like stood over his son, and like anything he did was justifiable because of how horrible Swerve was. And now he's finally seen like, look, there's Swerve unconscious. You beat him. You took him out. And then at that moment, he just realized, oh shit, it probably wasn't worth it.
Yeah. So
because like after the Hangman and Moxley feud, every time he'd seen Renee, he was like, "How's John?"
Yeah.
Like it like he still retained himself. He was still the white hat cowboy, even though he went there.
It's black hat now.
Yeah, I know.
What an excellent feud! Like I think the next time these two fight, it should not be for a while. It should probably maybe be for a title. But fuck me, the next time it's going to be a little while. But the next time these two come together, it's going to be just electric.
I think it's going to be World's End.
Well, Swerve's apparently also having a bit of time off now, isn't he?
I think Swerve returns at Full Gear, and then to confront
Hangman. Yeah,
and then they have their match at World's End. Probably a dog collar match. Please, a dog collar match.
Please, for me.
One thing as well with Hangman, which I forgot to say when they were entering, he entered finally through the heel tunnel.
Yeah, he did.
And then when he left, he went to leave through the face tunnel, and then
he stopped himself, and And it also adds to the whole like thing that Swerve said, which is, what kind of a man are you going to let your kids see in that cage?
Yeah.
And they saw the absolute worst of Hangman.
Yeah, he came out through the heel, and then he didn't come out better of himself. He still came out.
But
like
that's what's been so cool about this feud is Hangman's obviously been coming out through the face tunnel, despite the fact that everyone's like, "You're a fucking heel. You're a piece of shit."
Yeah.
And obviously they did that really cool thing where Jarrett was waiting for him for the Owen final, looking at the heel tunnel, and Hangman came behind him. So when he finally does like acknowledge, I am the bad guy here, I burned that man's house down. And then it's one thing I do want to say. I don't know who wrote the notes for the pay-per-view on Fightful, but credit. In fact, I'm going to find the writer now if it's there. It was Louis Polido, but they put a fantastic little quote at the end of this regarding this match that I just want to shine a bit of shine a bit of light on because it's very good. saying, Page stood tall to end the broadcast, but I leave you with this question to the reader/viewer. Is victory worth the cost of your sanity and, most importantly, your humanity?
Ugh.
And that sums up this match fucking perfectly.
For me, it feels like Hangman won. Oh no, for me, it's like I wanted Hangman to be a heel, and I've been saying it for ages.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, at what cost? This isn't the heel Hangman I wanted. You know
So,
what I mean?
What I like about this is that I didn't think Hangman should beat Swerve officially until he takes the belt off Swerve.
Ugh.
Because this is
Gonna
unsanctioned.
break my heart.
Because this is unsanctioned, it doesn't count. So
there's no satisfaction.
He's not officially beaten Swerve. He's just basically done GBH to him.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was All Out. A show full of murder and good wrestling.
The children.
For the children. Protect our kids. So I'll go through to both of you. Faye, what would you give the show out of 10?
For me, a 9.
Tasty?
9.5.
10, baby.
10. I'd say 9.5.
I don't know how you make it any better. I honestly don't know how you make that show better.
All Out seems to be like their one where they always they always hit it out the park, don't they?
Yeah, which is interesting because the last 2 years you've had All In so close to it. And this year especially, like last year it was like a bit of a weird one. It was like, so All Out was like the Moxley Orange match, which was great, but it didn't really have like the big feel. This year they went, right, how are we going to differentiate these two shows? Well, one is good and one is evil. So there we go.
You know what? Yeah, no, I think I'll agree with the 10 actually, because there's not actually a match that I didn't like.
This was the Empire Strikes Back to the New Hope of All In.
Yeah.
And Wrestle Dreams Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, well, we'll have like box and shit. I don't know, maybe.
we'll have Swerve return just to murder Hangman. I'm gonna stick to my guns and say a 9.5, just only because, again, I thought the Mercedes Shida match should have been a bit better, but it still wasn't a bad match. When I'm comparing it to like the absolute high that was All Out 2021, which is kind of like
I feel like that's an unattainable reach now. Like, I feel like that's like,
as much as I really enjoyed Kenny versus Christian, like those last 2 matches on the show, and Pac Ospreay clear that by a fucking margin.
That's true.
I think we get,
but also Lucha Bros versus Young Bucks in the cage.
I think we get a little nostalgia trapped with some of the early AW stuff that we sort of look back on it. I think if you know how you like never know how good you've got it when you're there. I think we have to appreciate just how ridiculously high across the board the in-ring standard is in this company now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but like you say, Jay, like a 3-star match in this company now is like a 5-star match in 2019.
Yeah.
I'm still going to stick to 9.5. A couple of things I did say I had a few little issues with. Only, again, very, very niggling little issues.
If Takeshita and Okada had kissed, they would have put it over the top.
Yes, exactly.
You got Mox and Danielson having a kiss, though.
I'm glad that you see my point of view. So before we kind of like go into the news, shall we have like a little palate cleanser?
I think we should.
Let's talk about Faye's thinks that we're going to talk about some TM Faye here. We're not. Not yet. We're going to talk about Mystery Wrestling 10. Because I need to get back on my bullshit. So, yeah, this was, for anyone who doesn't know, we have covered Mystery Wrestling before because it is literally my favorite promotion on the planet at this point. It's Evil Uno's kind of weird hybrid cross of Shikara and PWG, but it's in a tiny little hall in Gatineau, Quebec, that he just streams for free on his Twitch. He has a special guest commentator on this show. It was RJ City. Other than that, he doesn't announce any matches, but he'll have like one talent that he'll announce for the show. In this case, it was Micro Man. Everything else is just completely random and just, yeah. So the opening match was a surprise 4-way where we had referee, I believe it was referee Jacques, referee Luke, referee Jean, and referee Mike. Mike being a brand new referee who looked a lot like Psycho Mike, but couldn't have been.
No.
And yeah, it was just a silly fatal four-way. Referee Mike hit a few body slams and then got took out by all the other refs. And I believe it was referee the bald one. I can't remember his fucking name. I think it was
Didn't
Luke.
one of the referees that was in the match like count the pin for the other one?
So they kept getting confused who was actually counting the pin.
Yeah.
And then there was a really good spot where all the referees were on the outside, and referee Mike started counting them all out.
Yeah.
And they rolled in. But yeah, that was fun, silly bollocks. Next up, we had McCray Martin, who's the Loot 7 champion, defending against Man Like the Reese, which
The Rice, as RJ kept calling him.
the Rice Man Like the Rice, as Evil kept calling him until someone corrected him on Twitter.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was really fun. Probably as far as from a wrestling standpoint, the best match of the night.
It was so funny because RJ was like, "Why are people just shouting their phone numbers?"
Yeah. And RJ and Evil Uno actually gave a standing ovation to this match.
Love that.
As they should. Next up, we had Microman defeating Serpentico. Serpentico got the ring announcer to announce that Nyla Rose sucks, and then got murdered by Microman, as he should. Then we got... So this is where the show got really weird, meta/fun, where they did, for the intermission, they usually just have Evil Uno just plug in like things, because they have like merch and stuff like that. So he always says to his guest, you've got the option to either sell merchandise at ringside or stay and have a little chat. So RJ was like, I'm going to sell merchandise, but I've got an understudy. And he just had like his mate come on and do like the halftime show with him, which won't play into the rest of the show at all later. And then they went really meta by filming like all the wrestlers selling merch and having RJ do a soliloquy at ringside while he was selling merch to people and talking to some guy about the Golden Girls. Next up, after the break,
shout out to the one guy who came to buy some merch off me got a Wrestlance t-shirt, which was quite nice.
Yeah.
In a what?
A Wrestlance.
A Wrestlance shirt.
Oh.
Shirt, and he was like having a chat with RJ for a bit. Obviously, big RJ guy, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff.
Also, as tradition would dictate, the Reese had like a mega queue.
Yeah.
There was also I've lost that match for some reason. Where is it? It was James Stone and Vanessa Craven versus someone and someone else. Let me just find out what the match was, because I'm not prepared and it's not all on the list I've got. But yeah, it was basically just a mixed tag match. Very fun. It was all like local Canadian wrestlers, which is again kind of like the theme, because it's a lot of people like that Evil Uno's like trained. So it was really this was actually the third match. I've just completely missed it. I just realized. So it was James Stone and Vanessa Craven defeating Brent Banks and Chris Tara. Very fun match. Again, a lot of fuckery, and yeah, just fun. James Stone is always very rude to Evil Uno, so they call him a piece of shit, but not an actual piece of shit. But like an actual piece of shit, not like a medically doctored notes piece of shit. Next up, we had pretty much a squash match, and I said to you, Tasty, at the time, this was the most Canadian thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Which was the team of the Jabronis, which was just two guys in t-shirts that said dad bods, and another guy who looked like he knew where to find all the copper wire in abandoned buildings around town. Against me and Ryan's favorite trio, which are called Le Tabernacle Trio, which is the team of Benjamin Tull, Matthew St. Jacques, and Thomas Dubois, or Thomas Dubois, sorry, it's French. And they're basically just three guys who look like lumberjacks who come out and murder people.
Nice.
They actually came out with a guy who's dressed as a lumberjack playing a guitar solo for the entirety of their match. And all they did was just put these guys through doors repeatedly. They even did a spot where they did like a power bomb off the top rope through a door that was placed on the other two guys' backs. It was
great.
Yeah, and Evil Uno basically throughout the match was telling RJ, because RJ was like, surely these doors cost a lot, and he's like, well, actually, there's a door factory nearby, and I get them at a cut rate because they're defective doors. So the more you know. Next up, we had what the match I was most invested in all night. Junior Benito, clap them cheeks, versus Cowboy Mike. And Cowboy Mike had a little bit of a medical update on his on his health journey. So in the last match, he had a serum to cure him from being a cowboy piece of shit, and the referee hit him on the back, so he spat it out.
Well, he had to win the match before he could take it.
He had to win the match before he could take it, so he beat Josh Alexander to be able to take it. Now, he's done more science this time, so he didn't have to do that. He just had to have it before the match, and it would
cure him. You had to be in a wrestling ring for the first one.
Yeah, it would cure him of his affliction. So he drank it. Junior Benito slaps him on the back, and he spits it out again. And he's like, and everyone's like, "No, Mike!" And then he's like, "Now, luckily, I've got a plan B for this situation." And he pulls out like a bottle of pills, and he goes, "Now, Junior, could you read those pills, please?" And Junior Benito like says, these pills only work if you hit a body slam during a wrestling match." And as he's reading it, Psycho Mike's behind him, and he's just like, "Oh, Junior!" And he turns around. The whole match is basically Psycho Mike trying to body slam him and getting like thwarted.
The real handsman pills is Psycho Mike.
Well, you say that. So, this was just absolute silly bollocks. It was fucking brilliant. Psycho Mike, if you'd not seen him, is one of the best comedic wrestlers on like the face of this earth.
I think the best thing about mystery wrestling has been like the wider world discovering Psycho Mike.
Yeah, because he there's only two reoccurring storylines. This one and the main event, where so basically Psycho Mike finally hits a body slam, and everyone cheers, and then he's got like the moral quandary of, do I get the pin and win the match, or do I go and take the pills? And everyone's like chatting at him, take the pills, Mike. So he goes to take them, and as he's about to take them, Junior Benito rolls him up, so he spills them everywhere. And Mike kicks out, and he's looking at them like, no! Junior then tries to feed him the pills, and he's like, no, I can't have them now, they've been on the floor. So he goes into his bag and gets a comically large syringe out. But not like a syringe like the Hangman Square one, like just like a plunger one, like to feed like a dog medicine.
Yeah.
And he accidentally injects Junior with it while trying to get Junior to inject him with it. And then basically Junior just like super kicks him and rolls him up and wins.
After he ejects him, he's like, "Yes, Junior, how do you feel?" And he's like, "Yeah, I feel pretty good."
Yeah. Also the finish was Psycho Mike crying because he's still a piece of shit. He hits a low blow on Junior, then he hits a ripcord like a rainmaker into a low blow. And then he hits another body slam, and then he still gets beat. And there is no justice in the world for Psycho Mike. Hopefully one day we do get Psycho Mike being cured of his affliction.
I'm gonna have to show Tom this, because this is like Tom's shit. This like.
Well, Ryan's got the.
He sent me the. Yeah.
So if you ask him nicely, I'm sure he'll watch them with you, because he loves it. For anyone who wants to get into mystery wrestling, the entire show Mystery Wrestling 5 is on YouTube, on Evil Uno's YouTube. There is also the main event of their first ever show, which was a Fatal Doorway match, which was a 4-way doors tag team match, which has Le Tabernacle team, which is just the team of Matthew St. Jacques and Thomas Dubois throwing people through an unnecessary amount of doors. And that takes us to the main event, so when I was watching this with Ryan, the referee comes out in like with gloves and goggles on.
Which match was the death match? Was it the main event?
This is this one, yeah.
It's my favourite spot of the night in this, and you'll know it.
I know exactly what it is already. So basically the referee comes out and he's got like gloves and goggles on like a death match. And me and Ryan were like, what the hell is going on here? Something silly coming on here. And then it's London Lightning, who looks like a young RJ City. That's important. Versus Cecil Nix, And these two have been feuding since, I believe it was Mystery Wrestling 6, where they had an extremely ruled Iron Man match. And then they've just had loads of like matches since that have all been sillier and sillier. This one was a literal death match where the only way to win was to murder your opponent. And the ring announcer made them all sign waivers before the match.
Oh my God.
So basically during the start of the match, RJ's like, I think this is a bit too far for me murder. Like I'm gonna call it here. I don't want to be like privy to a murder. And Uno's like, they've signed waivers, it's fine. So RJ gets his understudy back on commentary, who was phenomenal in this match. He was obscenely dramatic. And then basically it was just Cecil Nix and London Lightning trying to kill one another throughout the match. So they got like a bit of string off the ring apron and were trying to choke each other. At one point, London Lightning brought out like a cooler full of water bottles and tried to drown Cecil Nix in it. Cecil got out of it and then tried to throw a toaster in there while London Lightning was in it. And then they basically took the ring apart, so there was a hole in the ring. And they had a sword fight. Nothing came of that. Cecil Nix at one point like fell in the ring and came out with like a jar full of bees, and they had like security come and take the bees off him because that was too far in a literal death match. Then at one point, Cecil Nix had London Lightning's younger brother, Ryder Lightning, who was at ringside with like a sign saying London Lightning at sword point saying, drink some poison or I'm going to kill your brother, who hadn't signed a waiver. So that would have been literal murder. And then London Lightning spat the poison in Cecil Nix's face. And then London Lightning was literally about to kill Cecil Nix. And then there was, I feel like this is the spot you're talking about, Tasty. There was basically a big loud bang and a crack. And London Lightning from the future came out, who looked mysteriously like RJ City.
Don't worry about it, because he said he had to go lie down.
He did. And basically told him...
Jay, before you get to this, you missed out. Yeah. No, you missed out my actual favourite spot. London Lightning got a plastic bag.
He did. He did.
And put it over Cecil's head. But Cecil ripped a hole where his mouth was and was just breathing normally throughout the entire attempt. There like,
I'm fine. This is fine.
So London's like pulling on it, like Marks was like trying to like suffocate him, and she just ripped a little hole so he could breathe through his mouth, and it was like absolutely fine.
Evil Uno on commentary for this as well, going, not another plastic bag! Has there not been enough murder this weekend?
Then... shout out to Evil Uno, by the way, who on Twitter was like, Evil Uno's co-worker with a murderer, and then was like, Evil Uno is co-worker with two murderers.
Yeah.
Like during all in.
London Lightning from the future, who looks suspiciously like RJ City, came out and told him basically what would happen if he murdered Cecil Nix. The most egregious thing being Cecil Nix will die a martyr and people will think he was a good wrestler.
Oh my God.
And then basically he like does this massive speech and he looks in the camera saying, this could end up being you, where you could have gone and made it big, but you're coming out dressed like future you at a show, telling you not to kill Cecil Nix. And like looking down the camera as he's saying it. And then he basically says, they're like, but someone has to die for us to win. He's like, fine, I'll drink the poison. And he basically drinks the poison. And then they do a death scene of like London Lightning cradling future London Lightning. And then the referee basically going, yeah, Cecil Nix has won the match. He's dead. While London Lightning's like in the ring holding his future self, crying, screaming, why?
Oh my God.
The show ends with a graphic saying London Lightning. Let me double check what the years were because it's a bit confusing. So it says, in memory of London Lightning, 2003 to 2029 to 2016 to 2024. And that's how the show ends. The show just stopped there. It was absolute insanity, but as always, Mystery Wrestling is the fucking best. They also announced that their next show is going to be the 27th of October, also on Evil Uno's Twitch. So please go and watch that because it will make me happy, and it will make. Well, on the last Halloween show they did Sue Young versus Joey Janela in a Halloween street fight. But Joey Janela came out to 8-bit Cult of Personality in a Scream costume while dressed as CM Punk underneath, and he botched did the botched buckshot lariat. This was literally like about 3 weeks after Punk got fired by AEW. So for the whole match, CM Punk, Evil Uno was sat on commentary having an existential crisis, going, "I'm not going to have a job tomorrow. I'm going to get sacked." It was fucking great. But yeah, do check out Mystery Wrestling. It's very fun. If you subscribe to their Patreon, I believe it's about £6 a month. You get access to all the video on demand of their shows. So that's nice.
If you subscribe to the more expensive one, you get a signed poster from everybody at the event.
That's like the most expensive one, though.
It is.
They are some very cool posters. Yeah. Right. So now we spoke about all the murder. What you guys
great
want to
pod,
talk
guys. Like, I'll see you next week.
Tasty, have you got something to bring to the table?
I have indeed. As a connoisseur of the finer things in life, I believe it is time for a bit of tea and Faye.
It's been a while since you've done one as well, so I hope you've got.
I've come back from the wilderness to bring one in. Don't worry, it's a short one. It's a short one this week in honor of the recent trip from the AEW roster over to the UK for All In. I wanted to talk to you today about TNA's British boot camp.
Can't believe you've done this.
Don't worry about it. So, right, first of all, I tried to watch this yesterday, and it has been, as far as I can tell, basically scrubbed from the internet.
Oh, it's been deleted from all time.
Like, yeah, the Russian government has got after this or something. I don't know why. It just doesn't exist.
I wonder why.
So this was a reality TV show produced by TNA for Challenge TV when they were on Challenge in the UK. I think it only officially played in the UK. So it aired in sort of, I think it was the start of January 2013. So we're deep in the fucking Hogan pit at this point.
Oh, God.
Bischoff Hogan versus Strong.
The idea was it was going to follow 4 British wrestlers who were going to compete through a series of sort of challenges. It was a little bit original NXT, like reality sort of wrestling.
Kind of like Tough Enough as well.
Yeah, it was a Tough Enough meets NXT season 1 and 2. And they were going to compete for a TNA contract. And they were going to be judged by Al Snow, Doug Williams, and Rollerball Rocco, who was a UK wrestler. And it ended up with them all going on to basically this sort of coincided. The end of this sort of coincided with TNA doing like a UK taping tour, so it worked out like quite well synergy wise. It was good. I've not heard who's in it yet because that's part of the issue. So we had the Blossom twins, Hannah and Holly Blossom, who were a set of twins who wrestled as a tag team from Stockport. They're really nice. We had Rockstar Spud. What's that?
They're now children's authors, I believe.
Yes. Well, I'll go on to where everyone ended up afterwards. We had Rockstar Spud, who you may know better as Drake Maverick from WWE. And we had Party Marty, aka Marty Skrull, a very young Marty Skrull.
Are you messing?
No, he was here. He had like a sort of party boy, like fuckboy gimmick.
Was that not a warning to anyone?
That was the first red flag, basically. Yeah.
He was the second one. He was also on Take Me Out at this time.
Yeah. So anyway, so I don't remember a lot of what actually happened, but there was a lot of like sort of stage drama. I think like Rockstar Spud had like he had a clash with Al Snow because his like work ethic wasn't right or something like that, and they had like all this like
But Party Marty was fine.
Yeah, they had all the standard like reality TV show bullshit where they had like dramatic like pauses in episodes like, oh no, what if someone is late for training, and then it cuts to like an advert, and yeah, I don't know. So anyway, so this went on for a couple of weeks. and Rockstar Spud won, so he got the TNA contract. But then they ended up signing pretty much all of them anyway, so it made the whole show kind of pointless. They did perform a couple of times on TNA. They all had, say, varying levels of success. So Marty Scurll, we'll get to him first. He basically appeared in one match on TNA. It was a mixed tag match. It was, I think it was just him and the Blossoms. It might have been all four of them versus like Gail, Kim, and some other people. And he did a tope through the ropes and like landed, like went into the barricade.
Oh.
Like hit the barricade head first, like really fucked himself up. He basically didn't wrestle again. Got released like 6 months later.
And then that was that. No one ever heard of him.
And then he went away and didn't do anything to drunk 16-year-old girls allegedly. Then Hannah and Holly Blossom, they actually stayed around for a bit. They went and I think they went down to OVW because at that time OVW was like TNA's sort of like NXT sort of feeder company. Is it Hannah or Holly? One of them married. They both got married. One of them married Chris Silvio, who was a wrestler in OVW. He's now in NWA, I think.
Oh, okay.
One of them married Chris Sharp, who's a referee who now works at WWE.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and as Jay said, they both retired from wrestling in 2014, and now they write books for kids, and they also write cookbooks as well, like baking books. Because part of the gimmick when they were like on the indies was they would bake cupcakes and hand them out to members of the audience before the match.
Oh, that's very sweet.
Yeah. So I don't know too much about them. They've sort of receded back a bit from like sort of the public eye. But yeah, by all accounts, if you go on their Instagram, you can see their books and all that, and they're writing loads of books and they're having a good time. So yeah, fair play to them. Rockstar Spud had a 5-year run in TNA. He became X Division champion, and then he eventually, apparently, he got to the end of his contract, and this was around the time when they were lowballing everyone. So this was around the AJ Styles time. Basically said to him, "We'll offer you a new contract, but it's going to be for less money." And he went, "Well, no, I'm going to go to WWE then." Right.
Yeah.
And so he did.
And he's still there.
And he's still there. Well, he had a whole. He got sacked, came back. Got sacked, came back as a writer. Yeah, he made a good career out of wrestling. He's done pretty well.
I remember his tag team with Damo in NXT was one of my favorite things about NXT at that time.
So that's the first series of British Boot Camp. There was a second series, which we'll cover another time, because that was. You think this is wild? The second series.
I was hoping you were gonna either bring it up or say we'll do that another time. So
yeah, no, because the second series is gonna blow your fucking mind.
That's the one I know more about.
Yeah. So this one was very limited. It was very much a sort of, there was no like. So the second series has like an entire like, it's like more like an X Factor thing where they have like open trials where wrestlers can go and they film.
So that's very much is like Tough Enough.
Yeah, and then it progresses through to like second stage, third stage, and then they have like a final and a winner. This was very much a case of, this was a more sort of structured reality show based around 4 sort of pre-chosen wrestlers, and then they followed them all the way through the process.
Wasn't this around the time as well they were doing the gut check, which was like a completely separate thing as well?
That's an entirely different. We're gonna talk about that at some point.
We sure are, Tasty. Because I really want to talk about the gut check, because I remember something that happened.
Yeah, there's some wild shit happening in the gut check. Don't you worry about that. But yeah, there you go. There's your TMFA for this week. It was British Boot Camp Season 1 on Challenge TV.
I remember the fans hijacking of that for their own fucking game.
Nobody went into business for themselves. Don't worry, it's fine.
Oh, it was wonderful. So right, well, thanks for that, anyway, Tasty. Let's keep it with TNA, because we've got to brief a little bit on news based around TNA, which is Giselle Shaw has received her TNA release that she requested.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm intrigued to see where Giselle goes. I think Giselle's very talented, and
yeah,
I felt like you put some money on her popping up in Maple Leaf initially, anyway.
No, she's been announced for that already, regardless.
But interestingly, she put a post up about like moving on and like whatever the future holds, and like, you know, time, just take time, blah blah blah. Will Ospreay retweeted it, which
he did with eyes.
Yeah. So either he's just a big Giselle Shaw fan, or he knows something that we don't know.
I mean, the man was teasing Ricochet for fucking months before.
I know.
Before anyone else fucking knew. So, I mean, yeah. I'd like to see her in AEW. To be honest, I think wherever she goes, like,
Like to
There's
see
been
her and
talk.
Athena fucking beat the piss
Yeah.
out of each other.
Well,
You know
we're
how
going
we
to
said
get that.
Mercedes needs like that opponent? Why not? Why not
Yeah.
Giselle?
Yeah.
Giselle's very good. Could do that. Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about Giselle maybe coming back to the UK, doing a bit of a run here.
Ooh,
Mhm.
please.
Obviously, she was like, former Progress Women's Champion. She was in Rev Pro as well. It'd be cool to see a lot of Giselle around here. I've seen her wrestle
Someone
a
get
few times. She's
someone get Harley
excellent.
Hudson on the phone.
Atomic.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Do it, Chris. Coward.
But yeah,
Coward.
the one we've got so far, like confirmation on, obviously is Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling, which we're gonna do a little preview of their two shows next month because it'll be close to the shows and they are both available on Triller TV as a double pack.
Oh,
Just waiting
nice.
for more of the card to be announced.
Yeah, from what's been announced so far, I believe they've only announced 3 matches, which for over the 2 days they've announced Giselle versus Athena, which that'll fucking rule. Speedball Mike Bailey versus Takeshita, and
Yeah.
on the second night, Takeshita versus Josh Alexander.
Yes.
Let me just check the math on that. Yes, that will fuck.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Numbers come back.
The numbers don't lie.
They don't lie, and they spell disaster for you at Sacrifice. They've also announced for that for the commentary team is going to be Mauro Ranallo and Don Callis, which will be very cool.
Yeah.
Because Mauro's fucking awesome commentator, and Don Callis is also there.
Don Callis is also there. Yeah, he is not
to
Kevin
be fair,
Kelly, so it's fine.
To be fair, Don Callis is a very good commentator when he's not like Don Callis. When he's just commentating like he was for New Japan and on All In, he's very good. They've also announced. I'm trying to go. Alex Zane got announced today.
Yes, he did.
I think Robbie Eagles did as well. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think he is. Yeah.
But yeah, they've announced quite a few big names. They're probably going to announce more. It feels like Stu Grayson was the other one I saw. It feels like they're going to be.
Oh, Evil Uno's on there as well.
Oh, is he?
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't seen that. Cool.
He was one of the first people to be announced, like a while, like when it was first, like.
Nice. It feels like they're going to be putting a lot into this. So yeah, we're going to do a bit more of a preview of that.
Maybe they'll put Psycho Mike on there.
It probably will. To be fair, if Uno and Stu are there, Psycho Mike will be next. If we're really lucky, we'll get Eli Surge as well. But yeah, I'm excited for that. We'll talk about that next month. Let's talk about AEW's TV deal because there's a lot going on with that still.
Mm-hmm.
But it's taken an interesting twist.
Don't worry, it's not happening because CM Punk opened the door for Warner Brothers to WWE, and now AEW are in the mud. So,
well, that's not entirely true, is it? So,
but the internet said it, and they wouldn't lie.
Well, yeah,
he is right.
Do you really think you want to do that? Just go on the internet and tell lies.
Listen, mate. The only thing I believe off the internet is that birds aren't real. So let's get that into first. So Warner Brother and AEW, Tony Khan's been hitting more and more in recent weeks, saying how he believes that they're going to be on TNT and TBS for years to come. He also said after or around All Out that there's a 90% chance that an announcement will come this month. What was also interesting was that AEW have also filed a trademark for AEW Shockwave for a TV show. Now, no one knows what that is yet. However, one thing that is interesting.
This is fucking excellent.
One thing that is interesting about this is that Fox, who have literally just this week ended their 5-year relationship with WWE, have apparently made an offer for a show on AEW. He said that if the price was right, they'd be willing to they'd be willing to do business with other wrestling companies. While nothing's been made official or announced, Fox, Warner Brothers Discovery, and someone else have got a streaming platform that is starting in 2025, and it sounds like that would kind of like align with when Collision AW's like exclusivity thing with Warner Brothers with Collision, which is why Dark wasn't on YouTube anymore because of that, is going to end. So it sounds like there is going to be some kind of like crossover to Fox with AEW. So an interesting time for AEW. Considering everyone says they're like a dead company and
Well, they just sell t-shirts, so you know.
Yeah, no stories either.
No.
No, just unnecessary violence.
T-shirts and violence.
But yeah, very interesting, very exciting. I know that a lot of like the longer this went on, the more sort of tedious it was getting for me. Not that I thought like they wouldn't get a deal somewhere, but
I just needed it to be like announced so I'd stop hearing about it.
Yeah, it kind of dominates the news at the moment, so it's cool to actually like have something of an update where it's like, oh, actually that sounds quite good for them. Well done them. So yeah, we'll hopefully have a bit more to talk about that.
Hopefully by next month it will be sorted, and we can stop having fucking endless, boring conversations about it.
Yeah. Especially like it feels like so irrelevant to us because we just watch it on Triller.
Yeah,
so
it doesn't affect me in any way, shape, or form. Although we do have to keep moving the goalposts. So obviously, first of all, it was AEW won't get a new TV deal. Now it won't be as good as their current deal. And when they get a deal and it's better than their current deal, it'll be, well, it's not as good as the deal they probably should have got.
Oh well, they
and you know it doesn't matter because the other place isn't even on telly.
Off Warner Brothers Discovery for this, but streaming's the future. Both companies are doing well. High tide raises all ships.
Exactly.
Stop fucking moaning.
Do you know? I don't understand that. I don't want to go on a rant here, but so wrestling fan, any sort of tribalism, like wrestling fans, football fans, sports fans, they're really concerned about like how much money their side or team or group has. You're never going to see that money. You're not the one spending that money.
I know.
Like that money's never going to be your money.
I mean, I suppose from one standpoint, if you put money, like obviously we all bought a lot of AEW merch, so to a degree we've put money into that company. But at the same time, like I buy Tesco meal deals for my lunch every day. I'm not like, yeah, Tesco.
I really hope you're not like that.
Fuck you, Sainsbury's.
You're not getting on Twitter to like complain about the Tesco share price versus the Asda share price. Or,
well, maybe he is. You don't know. He could have a banner account.
You don't come out of the cinema and be like, "Oh shit, yeah, man, that film made fucking $200 million last night. Fucking let's go."
let me tell you, mate. Asda is in the fucking mud. So there. Other supermarkets are available. Please don't sue me, Asda.
So can we segue this? Because I've got a segue to take us into the next topic from this.
Is it sticking to talks?
Sorry?
Is it sticking to talks?
I don't know what you're talking about.
What's the topic?
So we're talking about like stupid tribalism and like weird comparisons that make no sense. So obviously we want to talk a little bit about the PWI top 500.
Oh yeah, I was going to segue to the other thing, but we'll talk about that.
So Trent Barretta, he's a good Twitter man. Check him out. He posted on Twitter being, it's mad because the PWI top 500 is basically based on kayfabe wins and losses, which is kind of like saying that you can't win an Oscar if your character dies in a film.
I think that should be a new rule we put in.
Yeah. So yeah, like the PWI 500s come out. It's always the most fucking divisive thing in the world. I do like it. I think it's quite cool. I think it's it's.
I also saw someone on Twitter saying like wrestlers will call podcasters and journalists marks, but they'll prepare an acceptance speech when they're named like number 375 in the PWI top 500.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those things, isn't it? Like obviously everyone kind of acts as if like, oh, it's not that important if my favorite wrestler isn't winning. I think the top 10's pretty fair, to be honest. this year.
Just so obviously, it's fucking crazy though, because like as we said, it's based on like kayfabe wins and losses and like how strong that wrestler's been. Which, okay, on the one hand, is sort of a measure of how successful they are, because the best wrestlers get booked to win the championships as like sort of carriers of the companies. Fair enough. Does the whole? I've never read PWI. Is the whole magazine written from the point of wrestling being kayfabe?
No. So a lot of it.
Why the fuck are there awards like that?
I think it's just something they've done for years, and it's weird because it's not entirely kayfabe. But I'm just getting the criteria up now, because like there was a year where like Dean Malenko was number one. He didn't win a fucking thing. He was just having bangers. So it was like, well, this is it doesn't necessarily. So I'm sorry, I'm just trying to find the actual like criteria because I'm
gonna say I think Swerve should have been number one.
I actually disagree, having read the criteria, and I'll explain why once I've found
book the criteria now. Go on.
So I think we're only really going to talk on the top 10, aren't we? But while you're doing that, Jay, I just want to say one thing that warmed the cockles of my heart is that despite his current injury, Eddie Kingston was still number 20.
He sure was. Also,
and a world where Eddie Kingston gets that high in the PWI cannot be bad.
Yeah. So this is what they've actually tweeted out regarding this. So evaluation period, August the 1st, 2023 to July the 31st, 2024. That's important. Primary criteria: in-ring achievement, win-loss records, championships, tournaments won, influence, visibility, and prestige within a promotion and/or the industry. Technical ability, quality of moves, matches, and in-ring storytelling. Competition, success against the most varied and highest quality opponents. Activity, minimum of 10 singles matches, non-tag matches, total, or barring the six such matches in separate months. Note, this list prioritizes success in singles competition and in vying for heavyweight singles accolades, and to a lesser extent that in these lower weight classes. So it's a lot of criteria. We'll go through the it was a bit of a weird top 10 if I'm being honest, so we'll go through it. Now, as you said, Eddie Kingston was 20, Mustafa Ali was 19, Bryan Danielson was
11.
He was 14 actually. I think Samoa Joe was 11.
Oh.
But yeah, either way. So number 10 was Mystico, which awesome. There's always like a random like Mexican wrestler in that top 10. Like last year was Vikingo, this year Mystico. Number 9 was Gunther, which again, based on his Intercontinental title run, I think that's absolutely fair. Number 8 was Mox, which I thought was a bit weird that Mox was in the top 10 because obviously he didn't wrestle
from like Forbidden Door onwards.
Yeah, so that was only for July, but then didn't he have another break? Like at the arse end of last year.
I think so, yeah. But he was international champion. He was IWGP champion. So, you know.
Oh yeah.
He got injured, didn't he? He's out for like about 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So he missed a month.
And he had that. He had Wrestle Kingdom match as well.
Yeah.
But I'd say that in terms of the achievement, being the first person to hold all 3 championships was huge.
Yeah, absolutely. 7 was MJF, which, guess that makes sense. He was champion from August to December. Came back, won the international title pretty much immediately. Again.
And you got to think about the impact that he had as well. Like
he was an Iron Claw, so that's another thing where it's like crossover appeal.
Well, he didn't make the final cut of the film, so
didn't he?
No, he was there briefly.
His scene got cut.
I thought it was there very small, like because I remember watching it and Matthew being like, "Is that MJF?"
Oh right, okay. It was literally a blink and you'll miss him. I still haven't seen it yet because my body isn't ready.
It's sad. Don't do
it. Next up, we had Damian Priest, who again had a really, really good year. In WWE, won the world title at WrestleMania, won Money in the Bank, and he was almost cast in Black Panther 2.
Yeah, but Vince said no, apparently. So
yeah. but he's someone who's as well like has a lot of like kind of crossover appeal and like
Did
the
Vince
metal
think he like
world.
wanted to join the Black Panthers and was like, no, you can't do that?
Yes. Number 5 was Naito, who was left out of last year's one by
They
mistake.
just forgot about last year and just didn't put him in.
And I suppose that's fair. He won the world title at Wrestle Kingdom.
Wrestle Kingdom.
Won it back off Mox at Bindor. So yeah, I guess that makes sense as for like top guy in Japan. I wouldn't have put him that high, but I hope. Number 4, Seth Rollins. Yeah, he's had a strong year. Obviously been injured a little bit as well, but yeah. Number 3 is Will Ospreay. Yeah, just kind of speaks for himself there. As you said before, Faye, number 2 is Swerve. And
tying the highest ever placement for a black wrestler in the top 500.
Yeah, now number 1's Cody Rhodes, and I think that's fair. And the reason I think that's fair is purely because a lot of the period that they're covering, bearing in mind that the emphasis is singles matches here.
I mean, he won the Royal Rumble and then he won at WrestleMania, so you can't really ask him more than that, can you?
And he's had like a lot of different defenses against a lot of different people. But whereas Swerve has had like, he wrestled Samoa Joe twice, he wrestled Hangman a fair few times. I think the thing that's kind of edged it is the variety of opponents, because Swerve had like a lot of opponents who were similar.
Yeah.
Like the same, like a lot. He had a lot of feuds that dragged on for a couple of months, as opposed to Cody, who was like kind of doing like a fucking villain of the week sort of thing.
And then like multi-man matches as well.
If you look at the numbers on this list, it's 4 guys from WWE, 4 guys from AEW, 1 guy from CMLL, and 1 guy from New Japan. What a fucking shit out list like that is, in terms of, this is a list designed to like not have people argue about it.
And yet that's all people fucking.
And that's still all that anyone's going to do. Yeah. So
I mean, we all know the real number 1 in our hearts is
Beast Mortos.
Absolutely, friend of the podcast, the Beast Mortos, who actually finished in, I think it was 228.
Have you seen his Twitter, by the way? Because he just tweets in Raws in Beast Speak.
Yeah, he just tweets in Raws, and then he'll tweet like the occasional thirst trap and get everyone going, "Oh my god!"
Have you seen that picture of him in the mirror when he's like the Beast Mortos?
Oh, I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Stupid, sexy Mortos.
If you want to get angry about what the internet certainly did, apparently Blake Christian was like 2 places ahead of Takeshita.
I mean, that would upset me, for sure. Yeah,
it's it's also the most Blake Christian thing ever, though.
I consider a personal insult, but I've got nothing against Blake Christian, but Takeshita should be much higher.
He was also 24 places ahead of Mao, which makes me sad.
Boo.
Beast Mortos was 224, but number 1 in our hearts.
Charlie Evans was 222.
She was.
And she has that number tattooed on her.
Yeah.
She does. Tate Mayfair's was 214. Tateness is greatness.
Tateness is greatness. And Rio's on there as well?
Yeah.
And Blue Cane was 500. If you're wondering.
That's one
Blue
thing.
Blue Cane is the next Lulu Pencil, confirmed.
I hope that they do a special cover like they did with Lulu Pencil, but with Blue Cane on.
So that's one thing that's weird about it as well, because obviously like they have like the PWI 500 is like men and women, but predominantly men. But then they do a separate one for women's wrestlers. Like, well, make your fucking mind up. If you're gonna,
Can I also say as well, like having seen the front cover of the magazine, there are so many different fonts on that cover that I had a fucking nosebleed looking at it.
Yeah,
it's usually like that every time.
I was looking at that, and it was very, very
car crash.
It looks like a boom was made on Microsoft Paint.
It is graphic design is my passion.
Yeah, I do have one of the PWI 500s the one where Kenny won it.
I have that one too.
I got it in a wrestling crate.
I just went out and bought it.
You should have said I would have just give you my copy. I just got it in a wrestling crate. I didn't really want it. I just had it. But yeah, I feel like that's about right. It's good to see a lot of people have like kind of done better than they did in previous years, like Swerve, went up like 100 odd places.
And Darius as well.
Mustafa Ali went up like about 230 places or something like that.
Leon Slater as well, nearly made the top 100, like 118 or something like that. So yeah, he's on the fucking rise.
And Luke Jacobs as well. I think he was like 100.
I do like how they have a lot of indie wrestlers on there. Like, I think that's great.
Where was Luke Jacobs? Yeah, Luke Jacobs was 123. And Daddy was 122. But yeah, I think all in all, it's a cool thing. A lot of wrestlers seem to just like the recognition, so
I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Forget
it's
about
nice for a bit of debate, isn't it? It's nice for a bit of just something to talk about.
Yeah, I think for the first time in a while, I'd say that's the one I've agreed with the most. Like, just as a standard thing, looking at it, going, yeah, that all kind of makes sense. I think was it last year? Mox was one.
I don't think Mox was one last year. Oh, yeah, it was. Oh, yeah, because he was 12 the year before.
Or was it Roman?
Wasn't it Roman, Mox, and Seth in 1, 2, and 3?
Yeah, 1 year because they all had belts.
I think that was last year because then Seth won like Sports Illustrated of the year.
It would have been.
So last year was Seth, Roman, Moxley, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Year before that was Roman, Okada, Punk, 1, 2, 3. Year before that was Kenny, Roman, Lashley, 1, 2, 3. Year before that was Moxley, Cole, Jericho, 1, 2, 3.
Let's do a little segue there to Lashley, shall we?
Yes. Speaking of Bobby Lashley,
because we got a little bit of breaking news. So Fightful Select, literally as we were about to start recording, I said to Tasty, "Oh, Fightful Select have just announced something about this." And that something is that the Hurt Syndicate, the former Hurt business, so MVP, Bobby Lashley, and Shelton Benjamin are believed to have held talks with AEW about a potential debut. This comes 2 weeks after they trademarked the name the Hurt Syndicate. And obviously, at time of recording, tonight there is a certain little tag team casino gauntlet match where they may debut. By the time
I'd like to see them for the trios. Probably have to have a tournament for them, wouldn't they, as well?
To be honest, I'd just like to see Bobby Lashley versus Will Hobbs. That's what I really want. But yeah, by the time
I would temper your expectations for the gauntlet tonight. Not that they won't turn up, but the Outrunners have just put up a new promo, and they're obviously going to fucking smash it because they're the youngest men alive.
And
why wouldn't they?
I mean, the Young Bucks have said about how they're better than all the tag teams in the 80s. When the Outrunners put a picture of them and Tony Schiavone in 1988 together, which was definitely not Photoshop. So, and also, how do you win a gauntlet? You outrun everybody else. Exactly. So that's all I'm saying. Outrunners better win because they're my boys.
That a message to Gibbo? Just like, don't you dare.
I don't know what you're talking about. No comment. But yeah, no other breaking news as time of ending. So shall we go into our little wrestler of the month?
Favorite wrestlers. Yeah.
Yeah. Who wants to go first?
Wrestler of the month is hard because All In's just happened and All Out's just happened, and I feel like so much has happened with that like I want to say Moxley, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna say Nigel.
Nigel, nice.
Yeah.
What about you, Tasty?
Oh, across everything I've seen all month. We're talking August, right?
We are, yeah, August. Well, between like August just and now.
Just like over the last like 30-ish days. All right, in that case, it's got to be Swerve.
Got to be Swerve. Interesting. I'm going to say Zack Sabre Jr.
Fair.
He's had a big 30 days, to be fair.
Won the G1. He had a banger with Hechicero. He what was the other thing he did? Showing up.
He was in
the match. Yeah. He's about to win the IWGP World title off Naito. when he tears his knee apart. Yeah, Sheppy's up.
Save us all from Naito's title reign.
Yeah, save us all. And obviously, as is tradition, the joint wrestler of the month is the Beast Mortis.
Sorry, and Zack Sabre Jr. also somehow banished the Tory government as well.
Yeah,
he did.
And when Sarah met him at Rev Pro, I asked her to ask him about what he thought about the Labour government, and he gave a very long, very eloquent answer.
He did.
Wish I was there.
She told me all about that.
Which is excellent. I love that. I fucking love Zack so much.
Yeah, I can't wait for him to enter at Royal Quest and say something about Keir Starmer. Like,
can we have an honorary mention for Wrestle of the Month for Hologram, because he's fucking not missed since he's come in.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Hologram was runner up to my Wrestler of the Month last month, but Jeff Jarrett had a fucking month, didn't he?
Yeah,
so
he did.
I had to give it to Double J.
If you go by crowd reaction, though, it should be a big bill.
Oh, actually, to be fair, Double J did hit Hangman with a guitar this month. I can't possibly have him 2 months running. Surely not.
It's not fair to other wrestlers.
It's not. Although I had a little look to see on AW's merch sales for the last week, because I think it was last week or the week before, the Outrunners were like outselling like Swerve and like Britt Baker and Mercedes Moné.
Swerve needs to get better shirts, that's why.
Everyone loves the youngest men alive, what can we say?
Well, so they aren't this week, sadly, because a load of new shirts come out and Ospreay's like still number one. However, Jeff Jarrett was in there. Yeah, Jeff Jarrett's shirt broke the top 10, and I was a happy boy. And I also thought about maybe buying one because it's quite a nice shirt.
We're doing an order soon, I think, or soonish.
I'm gonna do a US order for some Outrunners merch because it's not on the UK shop for some reason.
Well, we do the pro wrestling. We do it through Pro Wrestling Tees anyway. So
yeah, cool. I'll hit you up. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we wrap this one up?
I'm going to Wrestle Island on Sunday. I'm very excited.
Yeah. Have some sausage rolls. There's
a new trainee. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that because I feel like I've seen it a bajillion times, but it's always a good fun. But everybody at the minute just loves this trainee wrestler called Candy Stan, who just comes out to the Candyman music and throws sweets at all the kids.
I'm so very disappointed.
Crowley fucking hates them.
And Crowley hates him.
Oh, really? Is Crowley in Wrestle Kingdom? In Wrestle Island?
For some reason, they've let Crowley into the fucking kid-friendly Wrestle Island shows. I don't understand why.
Has Crowley been at Wrestle Island?
Nobody said, give me Candy Stan.
Hopefully he just doesn't do as much of the sex stuff in front of the kids.
I mean, he did a TNT.
Yeah, true.
I mean, it's pretty much his gimmick, to be fair. It's just like sex pixie. I'm very disappointed that Troy wasn't here to hear about Candy Stan because I imagine he would have been very upset about it.
We'll tell
Tommy Jackson is facing Joseph Connors. He had the best match against Brian Aidenson. I think it's on YouTube now. If you get a chance, please watch it. It was phenomenal.
I will definitely try and make time for that one. Yeah, cool. So yeah, go check out Wrestle Island. OTP have got a show on the 21st as well, haven't they?
They have. That's at St. Michael's, and then I think
Infinite have one as well at some point.
Infinite have got one on the 20th, I think. I don't know. Maybe. I know Luke Jacobs is on it, and Lizzie, and Lycos.
Oh, nice. Cool. Yeah, go check out all them. We'll probably have been tagged and stuff on Twitter that I keep forgetting to go and retweet, so apologies.
And
guys.
Atomic's got one in October, which we're all very excited for.
Oh, Brew House of Heart too.
Yeah.
FTM got announced for that today, the fucking Wolves.
Oh. Scott Oberman has gone weirdly over, and now the trend of everyone getting the phone lights out during Nothing Else Matters carried over from Atomic to Infinite.
I don't like that.
Incredible.
Didn't even say
it's so good.
When on my bus today. But yeah, go check out all them. I'll make sure I retweet them. I'll probably try and put links to all of it in the description on YouTube if I remember. Yeah, long live the Beast Mortis. Thanks for listening to us. Bye, guys.